What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later.
What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. What up? What up? What up? 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Man, there's so much news to cover. You know how people be like, yeah, I'm going to take off for the holiday and stuff like that? Even if I wanted to, I can't. Because there's so much to cover. So much to cover, in fact, that it's stories that I have to leave out. You know what I'm saying? As I'm going through my emails and trying to figure out how I want the show to go, or trying to pick between, whether I want to cover this or whether I want to cover that. There's so much that you have to leave on the floor. So much that you got to leave on the floor. What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel? Why do I need some red, white, and blue? The money that I pay in taxes is red, white, and blue. I don't know what you talking about. What up to the chat? Jarius Phillips says, Anton, on a scale of 1 to 10, how tired are you after last night? I'm not tired at all. I'm not tired even a little bit. I feel normal. I feel invigorated. I'm not tired at all. I know it don't seem like we live streamed for 5 hours last night, but we did. And it was a good show. It was a really great show. So we're going to be doing the same thing tonight. Ain't nothing changed. I don't care if it's 4th of July. I don't care what's going on. We still going to be having the same conversations. But nope, I'm not tired at all. I am absolutely lit. I feel normal. I feel regular. And timestamps is in the live stream if y'all want to go and watch that later on the day after the Millionaire Morning Show. And we getting it in. You tired, Quentin? Are you really? Wow, I'm not tired at all. Do I look tired to y'all? I'm not tired at all. I feel regular. What up, your car? What up to everybody? You went to bed early last night, says Marcus K. Cooper. Mika ain't tired. Mika chilling. Mika is chilling. Yeah. Nope. You took off work again? Oh my God. Quentin is out here trying to be on the unemployment line. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not tired. Got up, brushed my teeth, took a shower. I probably got up maybe 4 hours. So what time did it? Actually, you know what's so funny about that is that I worked for about an hour and a half after we got off the live stream. So we live streamed for, I believe, like 5 hours, which is crazy to think about because I thought we had only live stream for like 3 hours and 45 minutes, 4 hours. And So let's see, it was like 3 something, close to 3:30 after we got off the live stream in Eastern time. I'm actually Mountain time. And so I worked till about 5 a.m. and Eastern time. I worked till about 5 a.m. and then I went to sleep for about 3.5, maybe 4 hours. I got up about 8:45 and we got back to it. We got back to it. Oh. Let's see what Eric says. AD, people are upset about the big, beautiful bill. They are praying in church the Lord will bless them through. Maybe praying God show why the bill passed and for understanding, sad and annoying. People could pray for whatever they want to pray for. Yeah. Kay Cooper, I seen that. I was like, I don't know. I can't cover everything. Yeah, 1 hour of work, went back to sleep. Can we talk about these Detroit mayoral candidates? Let me see. Detroit mayoral candidates. Let me see what's going on. It's one guy. Jonathan Barlow. Is that who y'all want to talk about? Is that who y'all want to talk about? Like Jonathan Barlow? Why y'all want to talk about the Detroit mayoral candidates? I know Jonathan Barlow is one of the candidates. I haven't really spoken a lot about Detroit politics. And that's been by intention. AD, are you barbecuing? No, I'm going to go to a competition for my daughter today. What do you want to talk about as far as the Detroit mayoral candidates? What about them? Steady movement. Also want to let y'all know that I don't really reply to people with no profile photo. So, because I don't always think that people are serious about what's going on. When they don't actually upload a profile photo, unless I see you regularly here and I actually see that you're not trolling, then I might take you a little bit more seriously. But you're just not sold on any of them right now. I think Jonathan Barlow is one of the people. Let me see something. Let me see. Let me adjust this really quickly. Yeah, I'm not really sold on any of them either. Because Duggan is running for governor. Duggan wanted to run for governor, and that's why he moved on. Please leave your message. Anyways, all right. Let me. I don't know what my audio sound like. I'm gonna put this on reduced background noise, and hopefully that goes well. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into the show. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month, and we got a lot that we want to cover. All right. So I specifically handpicked these subjects because I know that on the 4th of July, a lot of y'all may be sleeping in. A lot of y'all may partied last night. A lot of people ain't at work, so I can kind of do what I want to do on the 4th of July, kind of wing it and see what's going on. And we getting it popping. It's crazy. I'm in London for some reason today. Feels like a holiday. I was about to chill in the comments, but my pig had babies yesterday. Will I do a breakdown of the big beautiful bill like you did a breakdown before? we can see what's happening. I'm gonna talk about the bill. I'm so against people taking photos of themselves. It's not even funny. I firmly believe that people lose a part of their souls through photos. Really? You at work by yourself, said Miss Amazing. What up to A Dunn? What up to everybody in the chat? I'm working a Beyonce concert in DC and need your pay. Get that money. Get that money. Get that money. All right, y'all. So nothing is different. Nothing is different. We're gonna get it in. So let's go ahead and start off with this whole Malik Beasley situation. All right. So Malik Beasley is an NBA player, and last year he played for the Detroit Pistons. But he's played for several teams, including Denver and Minnesota and Milwaukee, I believe. He's recently had a phenomenal stint. He played really well in the playoffs. I went to a lot of games last year, and he was shooting. He was shooting lights out. I think he was like second in the NBA and 3-pointers and all of this other stuff. And so he was shooting. But recently, he's been in negotiation for a contract, right? And his contract, if I'm not mistaken, his new contract. Now, I believe that up to this point, he's made like $60 million. I'm going to go into the details. He's made $60 million. Now, of course, you got to take out whatever it is that you got to pay your agents and taxes and all of that. But he's made a decent amount of money in the NBA, and he was up for a new contract, which I believe was going to be like $42 million, right? But he's recently been the subject of an investigation for gambling, right? And you know how the internet do once the FBI, not just by the NBA, but the FBI themselves. And so the FBI is now going in and they're investigating because this is how they're allegedly saying that this kind of hit the radar. Gambling sites, obviously, it's not just gambling sites. They also have the ability to be able to monitor where the big money and where the big bets are going, and then they can adjust accordingly, right? So what you basically seen was that there was a big prop bet that triggered something allegedly for Malik Beasley, right? And like a whole bunch of money was put on something or whatever, and so that kind of triggered an investigation. Now, the problem with this is that nobody really pays attention until everybody starts to pay attention, right? Marcus says, is it a crime to gamble? Absolutely, it is a crime to gamble if you are a player that controls the outcome of what happens in an NBA game. That means that you compromise the integrity of the game, which is absolutely horrible for any league, because the reason that we love sports is because we believe that anything is possible. The spirit and the soul of sports is that anything is possible. But when you start to introduce other factors into it and control the outcome of the game, it compromises the integrity of the game, which then it compromises the amount of money that the NBA can charge, make from it, advertisers and all of that. So at 100% is a crime, and it is in their contract that NBA players, NFL players, MLB players, hockey players, NHL players, soccer players, if you are a part of major sports, you are forbidden from being able to gamble in sports. It's very simple. It's a very simple situation. So, anyways, he's in negotiations for a $42 million new deal with the Pistons. The Pistons then shelf the deal because the Pistons don't necessarily care for the idea that all of this visibility is coming. And so they're waiting for the FBI to do their due diligence. But now I think that that's completely off the table because the Pistons and the NBA, no NBA franchise wants to be associated with somebody that is being accused of gambling. All right. So let's deep dive into it. I'm going to play a small clip of somebody explaining the situation. Actually, I'm gonna go over to David Purton. He's a NBA sports betting reporter, and he was having an interview with somebody, and he kind of broke down the situation. And I'm gonna include some additional details into it before I give my commentary on what I believe and how I believe things are playing out. All right. So this is kind of a summary of how things are going and what this breakdown of this federal investigation is going into Malik Beasley. All right.
Beasley accused of doing.
So federal authorities are investigating him on allegations of gambling on the NBA related to games and prop bets. That's according to his attorney. So exactly the details of which games and what went down with him are still unknown at this time, but he is the third NBA player in just the last 18 months to be reportedly under investigation by the feds for betting allegations. And he joins Jonte Porter and Terry Rozier.
Okay, this is different than the NBA investigating. What happens when there's a federal probe? How do they investigate as opposed to what the NBA would do?
Well, this all started back again with the Jonte Porter thing, and they subpoenaed some of the sports books for betting records for individuals that they suspected may have been involved. And so my working premise is that they probably had those subpoena records, the betting records, went through them and see what some of the unusual betting activity on some of these other games. So they're working through everything right now, communicating with the sports books, the attorneys, and so forth to see where it goes.
Okay, but give us a red flag. Give us what happens when all of a sudden somebody goes, wait a minute, something suspicious.
That's a great question. And when bookmakers really are convinced that something is untoward is going on is when they move the odds, right? So a prop bet may be over under 2.5 for rebounds or whatever. And instead of moving, up to 4.5, they'll adjust the big on, if you want to bet the over, it may be minus 200. When they adjust the odds and the bettors don't stop betting it and just keep betting it, even though these odds have moved against them, it is a major red flag. In fact, some bookmakers will tell me they will do it intentionally, moving it overly aggressive, move these odds so crazy that nobody that was really trying to bet it seriously would keep betting. And yet people do keep betting it. And then they know.
I'm muted. Thank you. Thank y'all for telling me I was muted. I didn't want the audio to interfere with what it is that I had over here. So basically, for the people in the back, what happens is a player then can control the outcome because they are compromised by whatever it is that's happening outside of the actual court. So I'll give you an example. The very last play for the Pistons versus the New York Knicks, Malik Beasley, there was a beautiful play that was drawn up for Malik Beasley, the very last play that eliminated the Pistons out of the playoffs. Malik Beasley, there was a play that was drawn up for him to be able to take the shot, and he was shooting deadly. He was absolutely hitting on everything and all of this stuff, right? He had 6 threes already in that game. The play was drawn up for him to take the last shot. They passed it to him, perfect pass. He fumbles it out of bounds by mistake, right? So people in the internet and everybody that goes and look at all of these different plays are going through and are looking at all of the different mistakes, quote unquote, that he made, all of the additional scoring at the last minute that was unnecessary, right? Because now everything is under a microscope. And if the player is able to control the outcome, and let's just say your bookie or people that you owe money to or whatever, or even yourself, you make a huge bet through somebody else that then influences the game, it compromises the integrity of the game, okay? But here's the key. Here's the question that we need to ask ourselves. Why would a person that is allegedly made close to $60 million in his NBA career and also up for a $42 million new contract be even in a position to have to do this in the first place? And or why do they need money? And or why would you even put yourself in a position to have to fumble $42 million? An additional $42 million. And what I'm telling you guys is that a lot of these players, and I say it all the time, you can increase the contracts to as much as you want to, unless you a LeBron, a Steph Curry, a Kevin Durant, or something like that, Jason Tatum, right? And you're probably going to make well over $1 billion in your lifetime, right? A lot of these players, even when they make up to 100 million in their life or whatever, they are 100% broke. These people be struggling. They trying to figure it out. I'll give you an example, right? Let me share some of my screen some more with you guys so that we can have a realistic conversation about what's going on. Now, remember, last year he was playing for the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And so this was largely first reported on by the Detroit Free Press, I believe. And this is what's happening. He's owed $8 million to debtors and had wages garnished even by a dentist prior to the gambling investigation. Check this out. Now, it wouldn't seem like a big deal, but once they start investigating and once they start looking up and pulling up your past, now it's starting to become a thing. It said he was destined to become he's destined to become the ultimate cautionary tale. He's made over $60 million already in career earnings, and he had a massive contract, what I was telling y'all on the table. And he had a $40 million free agent offer. And he's potentially now not going to be able to be in the NBA any longer. So think about that for a minute. You had an opportunity to make over $100 million in career earnings, and you fucked it up. You messed it up. And this was probably going to be his last contract. It was probably going to be his last big contract. So whatever it is that he fumbled before that, this was going to be his thing to where it probably was going to help him sail into the sunset, even though obviously it still seems like he had bad habits going on before that. Check it out. Report from the Detroit News, not the Detroit Free Press, the Detroit News, is detailing how his financial problems appeared to begin when he was playing for the Timberwolves on a 4-year, $60 million contract. South River Capital, a private company specializing in lending money to professional athletes, extended an undisclosed line of credit to Beasley based off of his future earnings. These dudes is degenerates. They're tricks. They gamble big. They owe big money. They finance. They get big houses. They take big trips. They buy big cars. And then they go big broke. If you have a 4-year, $60 million contract, which is the equivalent of $15 million a year, there is no reason other than the fact that most people are degenerates, and more money doesn't make you a better person. It makes you more of what you already are. A lot of y'all are sitting in the chat right now and saying, man, if I had that money, I guarantee you some of y'all will probably be in the exact same position as Malik Beasley, because you think you would do something until you get it. Next thing you know, you go in and trick it off, and you can't actually sustain your lifestyle long term. And you look into these dudes is living check to check just like everybody else. Remember when I was telling y'all that people that make over majority of the people that make over $100,000 a year are still living check to check? They're increasing their lifestyle and their degenerate behavior to have parity with whatever it is that they make. I'm telling you, most of these people have $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 million homes. You got to remember taxes and agents, and then you tricking it off, and they buying jewelry and all of this stuff. I'm telling you that it's a real thing. All right, let's deep dive into it. So he had to get a loan from a private company that specializes in lending money to professional athletes. That means that they make a business off of a lot of athletes that come to them for money. This recent NBA draft, dude signing it. What you think that they're going to do? A lot of these players that got drafted, they were already in debt. And you can tell they already have bought the chain, anticipating getting drafted, anticipating signing their first deal with guaranteed money and getting a signing bonus. They whole hookup, they cars that they bought, all of that junk is on consignment. Somebody bought it for them, and they got to go and pay them people back. A lot of the agencies, they lend them money and then they charge them interest on it. And so they give them the money, and the dudes is okay with it. Because a lot of times they're like, well, I'm about to get paid anyway, and so I'm good. I'm good. They go into the league in debt. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So 2022, South River Capital was awarded and he didn't even have the money to pay it back, or he was just degenerate and didn't pay it back. They were awarded a $5.8 million judgment to pay back the loan. This came after he made a payment of $1.13 million. It's not uncommon for professional athletes to take out loans based off of future unrealized contracts. But this started a pattern of financial issues for Beasley, who seemingly had financial problems snowball from there. Here's some of the other lawsuits that he was taken to court for. These are the things that we know for sure. $650,000 to Hazen Sports Management for failure to repay a loan against future marketing revenue. $26,000 to Cairo Cuts, a celebrity barbershop in Milwaukee. What type of lifestyle are these people living? How do you get to the point to where you owe $27,000 to a celebrity barber? Are y'all dumb or are y'all stupid? You are 100% right, Christopher Chapman. We had this conversation yesterday. This is why Kevin Samuels used to say athletes aren't considered high-value men. You are 100% right. Y'all are on it today. Shout out to my audience on the 4th of July. The Stott. The Stott is a historic apartment building in Detroit for failure to pay rent. So the Stott is a recently renovated high-rise apartment building. You know how I got a space in downtown Detroit? Well, the Stott is a different place that's in downtown Detroit. That's the high-rise. And he owes $21,000 in unpaid rent. Guess who owns the Stott in downtown Detroit? Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert owns Rocket. Rocket is a collection of companies, including Bedrock. That is a development company that they also own Rocket Mortgage, Quicken Loans, and guess who they also own? The Cleveland Cavaliers. So Bedrock is a company that is owned by Dan Gilbert, and they are the ones that own the Stott, which is a recently renovated high-rise that he was living in, and he failed to pay rent. You got to be an idiot. You have to be an idiot. He owes $34,000 to a dentist that got a judgment against him, despite earning $6 million this past season with the Detroit Pistons. So even if, let's say hypothetically, because right now it's just alleged that he's caught up in a gambling scheme, right? And let's say, for example, because Terry Rozier got investigated, he was cleared, he was never gambling either, right? But think about it for a second, because NBA players, they have dental, they have benefits, they have all of this, right? I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea. It sounds like he got bad habits. It sounds like he a trick. It sounds like he got bad money management. It sounds like he a finesser also. He makes a lot of money, but it doesn't mean that he manages it effectively. And he owes a lot of money. And so this is what it is that he do. He don't pay his bills. He don't pay his bills. He doesn't pay his bills. No, it does not cost that amount of money to get your teeth done. I don't know what the hell he got going on out in these streets. But it sounds like he doesn't pay his bills. But this is what I'll be telling y'all a lot of times, because y'all be sitting there going off of Google. It says, in addition to these lawsuits, there's also an outstanding bridge loan from a firm in Florida, which the athlete signed. In total, he had over $8 million in outstanding loans and unpaid bills. And again, that's just what we know of. That's just what we know of. And then on June 30th, news broke that Beasley was under investigation by the FBI as a part of a wire fraud investigation involving gambling and prop bets. So, you know, it's dumb. It is, bro. It's stupid. It is so dumb. So he's out here. He had a three-year, $42 million contract on the table, and the Pistons rescinded the offer when the news of the gambling probe emerged. So now he fumbled future earnings. He's out here in these streets looking dumb. And this is why I tell y'all on a regular basis that you have to pray for good judgment, understanding, and character. Because it's not just, Marcus, it's not just about money. It's also about good character, understanding, and judgment. Because the mistakes that we make, right? And when I say we, I'm not saying that, I'm going to just say people that make a lot of money. All right. The mistakes that people that make a lot of money make are exponentially much more impactful than for people that have regular everyday jobs. Let's say, for example, you go out there and you fuck up a bet and you make $80,000 a year. All right, cool. You in debt. You got to dedicate yourself. You got to buckle down. You got to get to it. If you are Malik Beasley, though, you're depending on hopefully making another 42, which after taxes, that's going to be, let's say 21. Then you got to pay your agent. Let's say you get a good 18, 19 out of that. But then you owe 8 to 10 million to somebody else. And you got to live off the other 10 for the rest of your life while also surviving. And you got to still deal with the bad habits that you have. So you're talking about a person that, and it's a lot of these guys. It's not just sports players, rappers, entertainers, a lot of these guys. These guys have a window. They have a small window of most of the time of opportunity to generate as much revenue as they can. They got to last them for the rest of their life. When you see all of these athletes, for example, that are doing these podcasts and they trying to figure out how to make some more money and they trying to get popping and stuff, I don't believe that they're doing that just because they're doing it for fun. They doing it because they trying to figure out how to get their money back up. They trying to use whatever relevance that they have in order to create a new stream of income. It's different for us because we have a skill set. Take a doctor, for example. I've managed a lot of doctors and not managed. I've had a lot of coaching sessions financially with doctors and people that are very high net worth income people, right? And they have just as bad money habits as everybody else. They make a lot of money, they make a ton of money, and they fumble a lot of money. But here's the difference between them, entertainers and NBA players and all of these other guys, right? The doctors know that they have a 30 to 40 year, as they can work as long as they want. They'll go out here and they be tricking. You go to the tables, they be at the gambling tables. They buy the big cars. They have the big houses. They have debt out the wazoo. They have a whole lot of student loan debt. But the difference is that they know that they basically going to work for the rest of their life. And every year they're going to make between $600,000 and $1 million or $2 million, whatever it is that they make. And their earnings are probably going to go up more and more every single year. They have a skill set that allows for them to be a degenerate and still be able to recover from it, right? When you talk about an NBA player and y'all tricking and they flying these chicks out, they going to get the chains and they get the cars, they have a small window to trick off. And so when I tell y'all that these rappers and these NBA players and stuff like that, that they be broke in real life, when they in it, they doing okay. They got the outfit, they sitting on the sidelines, they wearing the Miri jeans and all of this stuff. They got their chains and stuff. But they're going to be retired. They're going to be kicked out of the league by the time that they're 28 years old. It's a new crop of draftees that's coming into the league behind them. And every year there's a new crop of NBA draftees that's coming in there behind them, right? And so if their only source of income is going to be that, and then the thing that they got to use in order to sustain themselves for the rest of their lives is this, it's a different game. And you're talking about 20, 21, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds, 1 year out of college, coming into the league, and they got child support against them. They got women that's making accusations that they got to pay off. They got a lifestyle that they want to live, and they trying to keep up for the sake of appearances. They gambling on the plane back and forth and all of this stuff, right? And so they got a life that they got to adjust from when they get sat down by the time that they get 26, 27, 28 years old. You got another 50 years on this earth, 60 years on this earth. What you going to do about that? They had a white girl that got with him in college, and now that he ain't in the league no more, they divorcing him. So now you got to give up more than half of your stuff, and you got to pay child support. What you gonna do about that? So y'all wishing to pee these dudes, and y'all talking about how much money y'all think that they making in their career earnings. It's a bunch of Malik Beasleys out there that's hoping that they don't get exposed, and they trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life. It's a whole lot of Malik Beasleys. But you think that these people are like savvy? They taking care of their homeboys. They bought their mama a house and a car. They told everybody that they could retire and all of this stuff. But you think that these people were financially savvy just because they made it into the NBA? Most of these dudes is Neanderthals. Most of these guys are Neanderthals. They have a talent that they're getting paid for, and they going out here and they living a lifestyle, and they don't know how to manage it effectively. I'm giving you the real. I'm telling you the truth. I'd rather be the person that get it slow and slow burn and then compound it over time than a person that get it fast and fumble it because you'll never be able to recover from it. You know what my biggest joke that I used to say to NBA players that I didn't like when I was, when I would be sitting on courtside? That's how I got into it with Boogie Cousins. I went viral because Boogie was trying to get me kicked out, and it was his last year in the league. And everybody didn't know it was his last year in the league, but I anticipated that it was going to be his last year in the league. And I was sitting there courtside, and we arguing. And I said, and this the one that got to him. Had nothing to do with what happened on the court, none of that stuff. This is what I said to him. I'm just telling the truth. I'm not trying to diss him. I don't have nothing against him. I don't know what his money. I don't care what his situation is. But this is the insult that got to him. This is what I said. I said, bro, stop crying. He said, he's talking and stuff. He was cursing back and forth, shut the fuck up and all of that stuff. I said, bro, we not even going to worry about you. This your last year in the league. You better make it count. I said, this your last year. His teammates was over there laughing. They was trying to hold in their laugh. Because I told him, I said, listen, bro, this your last year. I said, bro, I'm going to be right here in these seats next year, and you're not even going to be in the league. That pissed, for whatever reason, that hit right here. It hit in their soul. I don't know what it is. Next year, he was out the league. That's what I said. It hit their soul, bro. It hit their soul. Hey, man, what you doing over there? I told another NBA player. I forgot what his name was. He had some goggles on. I forgot what the game was. And he said, yeah, I'm a millionaire. I said, I know what your contract is. I'm richer than you. All of the people on the sidelines was laughing at him. All of his teammates was laughing at him. He couldn't say nothing. I said, I know what your contract is. I forgot what his name was. He was a decent player, but he had a decent contract. I said, I know what your contract is. I'm richer than you. I said, he got me. I forgot who it was. It was like whoever their star player is. I said, he may be richer than me, but you gonna have problems with me going band for band. The same way that I talk on these live streams in real life, I'm the same way. Anybody that has ever seen me, and again, it was just basketball. You know what I'm saying? I was just trolling. Anybody that has ever kicked it with me, in real life versus seeing with me, I'm more of what I am online in real life, right? So I'm talking, and I'm just trying to get in their head so that he missed the free throws and all of that stuff. I'm just trolling, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking big stuff. But yeah, like they really do be going through it. They really do be going through it in real life. They really do be going through it. And so, they feel a certain type of way. And a lot of these NBA players is caught up in a lifestyle that they can't sustain long term. And so that's what I'm saying. I'd rather be me than be them. I'm going to be rich forever. I have a golden lottery ticket. I'm going to be rich forever. I've made the right investments and all of that stuff. And this is what I try to teach people inside of the Patreon, right? I'm trying to tell y'all that the long-term investments is the things that's going to pay off. The short-term look good. It's the shiny object. It's the shiny object theory, right? The shiny object theory that, oh man, I can buy this now or I can live it now or whatever. But it's that long-term investment philosophy and perspective that's going to get you the thing that's going to be rich forever. Stay down short term. Make the adjustment right now. And because that car that you're gonna buy, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be able to buy cars, but what I am telling you is buy the cars after you get rich and you actually have the assets to sustain your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Get to the point to where you only have to live off 5%, 5 to 10% of whatever you generate, and all of your other investments in your businesses is the thing that's going to be able to pay for your toys. You know what I'm saying? Don't go and spend the money that you make from what you put the hard work into on the toys. Spend that money on investments and then let that money then pay for all of the stuff that you want to do and the toys and the trips and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth you mortgaging your future just to have that shiny new toy, because guess what? If you go back and you look at MTV Cribs and you look at all of the previous things where rappers were showing off all of their stuff, that junk is old. Don't nobody care no more. Nobody cares. Because it's always going to be a new model. It's always going to be a new woman. It's always going to be a new house. Always going to be a new opportunity. It's always going to be something else new to replace it. And just like that, when you get the new car, there's new NBA players and new draftees that's coming in to take their spot. So these guys is fighting to hold on to their spot. They have a short window, and everybody ain't LeBron, and everybody ain't Steph Curry, and everybody ain't Anthony Edwards. The rest of them, they got to figure it out. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. And when these guys hit me up and they DM me or they kicking it with me, and I talk, man, I'm telling you, bro, like I manage a lot of different people. I manage singers. I give game to a lot of people, right? Singers, rappers, entertainers, dentists, doctors, lawyers, content creators, trying to figure out how they can sustain it, what they need to do just in case anything ever happened to them. What if they fall off? What if they do this? What if they do that? And people be laughing at me. I remember they was laughing at me because I still had a corporate position because they had offered me some money and I went back to corporate. Oh man, you crazy, you stupid. Why am I stupid? I'm smart. I'm the smart one. You the dumb one. You the dumb one. Why am I stupid for continuing to get as many bags as possible? Now they wish they had they wish they had that job. They wish they had that type of money. Why? Because I don't take advice from people that are dumber than me. If I'm a C student and you a D student, why would I listen to you? But I've been able to run up a bag and I've been successful I've been on a crazy run. Why would I take advice from niggas that don't know how to manage their finances and they got loans out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not taking advice from niggas just because they can dribble a basketball. That's not my idol. I like what you do on the basketball court. Keep me entertained. You're my court gesture. You're my entertainment. I'm not supposed to worship you as far as what it is that you do and how you live your lifestyle. You're a highly paid entertainer. I'm cool with that. I'm more impressed with what you did off the court to be able to sustain what it is that you made on the court. Then we can have a conversation. You made the right plays. You made the right investments. You're getting into real estate. You're getting into whatever, cryptocurrency. You understand the stock market. You're making moves in order to continue to run it up. Okay, now we can talk. But if we just talking about what you did on the court, man, shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble. We don't want to hear that shit. Marcus is saying a little debt is okay as long as it's managed to help raise your credit score. You're wrong, Marcus. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. No debt. No debt. Get rid of the debt, bro. Why are y'all so obsessed with a credit score? A credit score is nothing more than something that the banks created so that they can assess how much money they can make off of you. It's not. It's not. Get rid of the debt as soon as possible. All you're doing is holding on to money so that you can pay interest to the bank. It's not. I don't remember the last time that I checked the credit score, bro. It's not. That is a program that they told you. That is not true. It's never been true. It's not true, bro. It's not. Stop letting them finesse you. That is not true. Look at Viral Authority. He just saying the same thing that everybody else say. Use other people's money in order to... These talking points, bro. Y'all got to retire these talking points. Y'all got to come up with your own talking points. You need to do your own research. That's why I show my receipts. That's why I teach this shit. You got to get your own talking points. That is. Oh God. Y'all gotta grow the fuck up, bro. Grow up, man. Gotta grow up, man. Gotta grow up. You can't keep thinking like this. I ain't gonna go back. I ain't gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this today. So dumb. It's so dumb. Anyways, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a small example, and then we can get to the next part of the show. Do you know what happened in 2008 when there was a housing crisis and a credit crunch? Basically, the bank's ability to be able to extend, they called all of those loans back. If you look at any of your documents, you look at your mortgage, you look at your loans, you look at any of these things, at any point, you don't see it often because obviously we have a system that's designed to try to sustain and keep up because that's the main way in which we make our money, which is one of the reasons why Trump is trying to bring manufacturing back to the United States of America. Do you know that at any point, go and read your mortgages, read your documents, they can call that loan in. At any point, if they want to, they can call your loan in, bro. At any point. I'll give you an example. If you have somebody that passes away in your family, right? And let's say that they have a mortgage in their name. If the bank wants to, they can call that mortgage in now that the person has passed away in order to sell the property, and then you would have to just take whatever the difference is in equity in the property. But if they wanted to, they can call that in once you report that person has passed away and deceased. A lot of people don't even know that. All right, I'm giving too much game. I'm giving too much insight. I don't want to do this. Stock Club is coming up soon. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. A lot of people don't know that. Read, study. Don't listen to these people on the internet. Stop having conversations with people that don't know nothing. Most people just have talking points. They don't know. They cannot give you any kind of insight on what you need to do from a financial perspective and how you need to move differently. They can't. They can't help you. That is how Dave Ramsey went broke. They call in his loans. At any point, they can call in the loans and they can say, you know what? We need more liquidity or this and that, so on and so forth. We call in the loans. They can call in your loan anytime. Anytime. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let me read some of these super chats, bro. You know why I talk so wild and so freely is because nobody owns me. Nobody owns me. I own 100% of myself, my platform, my companies, my real estate. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a debtor. I don't have a creditor. I don't have anybody that owns me. Dude, that's freedom. That means that I don't have to worry about anybody taking no income from me, no job, no none of that. I own 100% of everything. I'm not going to beg somebody for an extension, a line, or whatever like that. If I want some more money, I'll just raise the rents if I just wanted to, hypothetically. If I want some more money, I'll just run up a bag even more. That's freedom. If I want a car, I'll go buy one. And I'll write off 100% of the purchase of the car because I understand how money works and I understand how the law works. That's it. I don't want, and it's compounding now because instead of me depending on everybody else, now I just continue to run it up more. I'm going to build more houses. I'm going to have more real estate. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to the point now to where I'm actually going to be signing other people and hopefully putting them on. I want to be the creditor. I don't want to be the person that needs credit. I look at the deals that other people make. I even look at from these content creation deals, and I look at the deals that other people make, and I'll be thinking to myself, why would I be a person that take the deal instead of being? I just think differently. I think like a business. I think like an owner. I don't think like a person that's looking to get money from somebody. I think like a person to figure out how it is that I can partner with other people to generate more revenue. Why would I take a deal from somebody when I can sign somebody else? I don't want a deal. I want to give a deal. I don't want a deal. I want to give a deal. It says, what is this? Yulton? What does this say? It says, does it ever get boring to do whatever you want whenever you want? No, because I create new goals for myself. I create goals for myself. So for example, I shouldn't be saying this because I usually don't like to talk about it until I'm already there. One of my latest goals is I'm going around and I've been watching everybody's live streams and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out what their numbers are because I'm trying to figure out what makes somebody the king, the undisputed king of whatever respective field that they are. What makes somebody the Floyd Mayweather of their field? Who should I be comparing myself against? And then how can I chase them down and pass them? So now I've created goals. So the money is, for me, it's not about the money because I understand that the money comes with the success. So I chase greatness. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to look and I say, okay, and it's not like shading to anybody else, but I look at everybody from a comparative analysis and I say, okay, who's the king? Why will people consider this person the best or the greatest? And what are they doing better than me? And how can I catch them? And how can I remove any kind of doubt that I am the best at whatever it is that we are? What will make me the top of the mountain? And that's what I chase. Now, if I get bored on driving a car, I'll just go buy a new car. I don't care about that. And so that's what I'm looking at. I've been looking at people and I'm saying, okay, so in my field and my status, if we all started off in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, whatever, why are they doing better than me from a numbers perspective or from an audience perspective? And how can I get better? And what do I need to do in order to pass them up? Because I want to be the undisputed king. And then that's what gives me purpose. That's what gives me motivation. So if I may, AD, I could be wrong, but instead of comparing yourself to someone else, just keep trying to outcompete yourself and do better than last year and last month. Yeah, that's cute, but I want to beat everybody else. Like that's cute. Like that's some good, like, yeah, just compete against yourself. Nope, I'm competing against everybody else. I think that's cool. Just be the best that you can be. No, I want to be the best that you've ever seen in your life. I want to be the undisputed king. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about, no, just run your own race. No, that's cool in the beginning when you're figuring it out. Yeah, no. They say true Mike Jackson competed against himself during his run. That's because Michael Jackson was already at the top. It was nobody better than Mike. So the only person that he can compete against is himself. So now you create new goals that hasn't been broken before because you broke all the records. You know what I'm saying? So new goals, new opportunities. Let me read some of these super chats. Thanks, Anton, for providing content when party hosts need something to listen to. You're a real one. Shout out to you, Magnificent Gaming. I appreciate you. Chris Cunningham in the building says he about to get hit with the Pete Rose. Yeah, I feel bad for Malik Beasley, but a lot of this is self-inflicted wounds. It is not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Happy Independence Day. Shout out to Nelly. I appreciate you. Christopher Mayberry says, when you look at this guy's career, he really didn't spend more than 1 or 2 years on these teams. The most he did was for the Nuggets. Is crazy. Larsa Pippen must have dragged his pockets out. He got to do parlays on his own games now, says DP. Username Delta says, Andy, are you going to cover Ben McLemore? What did Ben McLemore do? I'm not familiar with it. Unbeknownst guy says, what up though with the 2-ball? Jerry in the building says, happy 4th and happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jerry. Happy birthday, Jerry. The Market J says, what would you have done differently in your late 20s? In my late 20s? I wouldn't have done anything differently. I was on my way in my late 20s. I was hustling. I was getting to it. My late 20s is when I started to get back on my feet. At 26, I went broke. 27, I started to figure out. By 28, I was moving. 28, I was moving. I wouldn't have done anything differently. I would have worked harder. I worked my ass off in my 20s. I loved it. So, and I still work. I work harder today than I did in my 20s, than I did in my late 20s. So, Amani says, I wish I had Anton's work ethic. Why don't you have my work ethic? That's not something that you have to wish for. You can do that. Username Delta says he got convicted of grape. Send me the story in my email. Send me the story in my email. All right, y'all. I want to move over into another person. Let me see if I can pull this up really quickly. So this came across my timeline yesterday. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. So this came across my timeline yesterday, and everybody was sending this to me. Even 2K sent it to me. And I wasn't going to cover it because I don't really like covering other YouTubers like that. But I think that this is worthy of having a conversation about. So this guy, his name is Jonathan Duperton. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Jonathan Duperton. And he had this podcast basically on YouTube, and it was called Finessers Only, or Finessers Only Club. And it was also called Rich and Unemployed. And this guy was a admitted former scammer, meaning that he said that he had ran like a food stamp and all of this other type of stuff, and he had got arrested and he did time for it. And so he called his podcast Rich and Unemployed. Now, he had disappeared for a while, and he had started getting some motion. He used to have girls interviewing and stuff like that on his platform, and he had started getting some motion. And so he kind of disappeared, right? And then this popped up on my timeline, what I'm about to share with you guys right now. This popped up on my timeline for his channel. And so check it out.
From Federal Finesse. An inmate at the Robert A. Dayton Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. To prevent calls from this facility, your current balance is $3.71. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
I know this is a surprise, and I'm surprised as well. But I mean, it's fortunate, and probably a lot of people are disappointed, shocked, which I am too. This shit happens, and life must go on.
So essentially what he's done is his channel now has created an AI version of himself so that when he makes his federal phone calls, because apparently he's in prison now, when he makes his phone calls, it'll give an AI version of himself talking on his YouTube channel. I think it's smart. Yep, I agree with you. I think it's smart. But see, the bigger problem that we have here, is we're not really addressing the issue and the problem at hand here. All right. And so what am I saying? What am I having a conversation about? So this is the latest. I'll show it to y'all of what's happening. And so this is basically what's being reported on him. I'll share this tab instead. So it's saying that he has now been arrested for $10 million in PPP loan money and unemployment insurance and fraud scamming, in which that is one of the reasons that he was able to, live the lifestyle and drive the Ferraris and have the chains and all of this stuff. And so, for example, what this says is Jonathan Paul Dupin, aka Anthony Watts, and then it got a bunch of other co-defendants. It's the United States of America versus them down in Atlanta. Obviously, that's where he was hanging out in Atlanta and Miami. Kadir Williams, Emmanuel Dupiton, who I'm assuming that's a relative of his, and Cameron Bell. And it says that the jury charges that beginning in July 27, 2020. So this is right at the height of the pandemic. What did I say? What did I say back then? What was I telling y'all? I said y'all, and y'all kept asking me, Anton, y'all kept reaching out to me, asking me questions. There was different other content creators that was trying to teach y'all how y'all can get y'all PPP loan money and all of this stuff. Anton, should I take it? Anton, should I do it? Anton, should I do this? Anton, should I do that? And I was telling y'all, I said, listen, stay away from that PPP loan nonsense. Don't take it. Man, but everybody else is getting it. Man, but this and that and this is happening. Man, but this is happening, so on and so forth. I said, dog, stay away from that. That is an opportunity for you to get finessed. You are going to jail. And then Biden did what? Biden extended it, and he said, listen, we're going to extend it in an additional 10 years so that anybody that took this loan, we have 10 more years to arrest you. Even after I'm out of office, we got federal officers that have over 10 years to try to arrest you. And I told y'all, and I warned y'all, and I said it. I said, listen, it's a lot of people out here that all of a sudden they ran into money. They start getting it. Everybody had a Lamborghini. Everybody had a Ferrari all of a sudden. Everybody had an Escalade V in the middle of a pandemic, even though they couldn't work. And all of a sudden, everybody just mysteriously became great business people. Everybody mysteriously became a great business person, right? And I told y'all, and I warned you, and I said it over and over again. I said, dog, stay away from these loans. And if you take one, don't ever call me because I don't ever want to be on your call log. I don't want to be associated with anything that y'all got going on. Unemployment insurance. I don't want to deal with your PPP loan frauds. I don't want to deal with none of that. And so he was now a part of an over $10 million loan scheme, according to the federal documents in the United States of America versus him. They got him at the top of the list. And so when all of these women was on the couch and they was doing, oh yeah, baby, what's going on? How am I spending no money? You know why it was so easy for these niggas to trick on y'all? Because they didn't have to do nothing to get it. They was finessing. They didn't have to do nothing to get it. They was finessing. That's why it was so easy for them to trick on y'all. All of these women, yeah, man, I ain't talking to no man that ain't got it. What you think he got it leaked? What you think he just popped up? He figured it out? He ain't pop up like that and take care of business. He was there because he got it the same way everybody else did. Let me emphasize something else to you guys as we read this. It's okay to be a lame. All these dudes is out here telling you that you ain't nothing. Oh man, you can't unlame a lame. I agree. We real free. It's okay to be a nerd. It's okay to be. When people say that junk about me all the time, you got it. I agree with you. I ain't trying to prove nothing to you. 100%. 100%. I agree with you. I'm never going to voluntarily put myself in the bullseye of the FBI. And then you know what the funniest part about it is? They don't even sit down for a minute. They don't even chill. They don't even stay out the way. They be on the internet. Yo, I'm rich and unemployed. They go to the dealership. They go buy the big cars. They go buy all of this stuff. They don't see. I don't mind showing you my bank accounts and stuff because I show you where it come from. My stuff is legal. They out here talking and showing themselves, and they not even doing it. They didn't even get it the right way. So that's why I talk my stuff. It's like, yo, I really do live it. I really do got receipts. I really did get it. I really did hustle. I really did work. What are you doing flashing and showing all of this jewelry and showing these cars and living this big life? What are you doing? When you go to the bank, now I explain something to y'all. When you go to a bank and you either take out a big deposit or you make a big deposit, and some people that understand how money work. I've actually worked for several different banks in corporate. So one of my jobs was to go and figure out, document, and understand how every single system works so that we can design it to be more efficient, while at the same time meeting the expectations of the federal government as far as what the requirements were for the bank so that they don't get fined. When you go to the bank and you make a deposit above a certain amount or you take out a certain amount of money, it's flagged automatically. And one of the reasons that it's flagged is because they want to know that they do it under the guise of making sure that you're not a terrorist, that you're not funneling money outside of the United States of America to a terrorist group, all of this stuff, right? But they flag it because they want to know how you got the money. What do you do? What's the name of your company? They'll even ask you if you go and take a big deposit out of the bank right now. I don't care what bank it is. They'll ask you, how did you get the money? What did you do with it? Whatever, so on and so forth. They got to document it. They got to get your license and put all your information in or whatever. Now, if you're doing it legally and you're on top of things and you don't have anything to worry about, it really don't matter, right? When you deposit in the ATM a certain amount, if you keep depositing right under the amount that's flagging it, it's flagged again because they want to know why you're only depositing a certain amount right under the certain amount. If you go to the casino, for example, and let's say, for example, in Michigan, if you go to the cage and you cash in more than $3,000, they have to take out documentation, a document, and say exactly what, hey, okay, so this person is doing more than $3,000. They cash in more than $3,000. You can't be out here moving in the streets and thinking that ain't nobody paying attention because everything is documented. Everything is documented. Everything is going to play out exactly the way that it's supposed to play out. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of people that's still like, damn, I still got 6 more years to try to dodge this federal charge of this PPP loan money. 6 more years trying to dodge this charge. I'm telling you. It's a real thing, bro. It's a real thing. They don't mess around when it comes to that fraud money. That was a finesse money, bro. That's it. The only problem that I'll ever have in my life is trying to figure out how I can reduce my tax burden, because I can't stand it. And so I study it. I get tax strategists. I try to figure it out or whatever blows on and so forth. If it ain't about no taxes, if you're talking about some fraud money, man, get on out of my face, man. I don't want to be around you, bro. Any nigga that's doing something illegally, don't do nothing with no cars, no bank accounts, no fraud, no none of that. Get away from me, bro. Bounce. Get away from me. I don't want to be tied to you. Get away from me. I don't want to be tied. Let's read it. Let's see exactly what it says. Beginning on and about July 27, 2020, and continuing through or at about April 30th, 2021. So not even a full year. In the Northern District of Georgia and elsewhere, the defendants, and you know their name, did knowingly and willfully combine, conspire, confederate, agree, and have a tacit understanding with each other. And here's the other part. They doing it with each other. You know, it only take one nigga to get caught. It only take one dude to get flashy. It only take one person to get messed up, to get jammed up. Everybody now gonna go down. You ain't even doing dirt by your lonely. Knowingly devise and intend to devise a scheme to artifice, to defraud, and obtain money and property, namely unemployment insurance benefits, by means of materially false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises, and by omission of material facts, well knowing and having reason to know, and said pretenses were to be false and fraudulent. And this is February. I guess they arrested on February 25th, 2025. Stupid, bro. Stupid.
Even though I'm in this position right now, I'm still blessed.
And this is what he was doing on his channel.
So you got boutique body, you got filter girls, filter face.
No. Let's start. Let's give them some good. We got like business women, you know, like the corporate type. That's the type. You know what I'm saying? The corporate type. They all kind of. I was born in '89.
Let me say it on camera.
You want to whisper to them?
And y'all fell for the bait once again. Fell for the bait once again.
Money is a feminine energy. So you like literally you have to learn to respect feminine energy, and even you understand that wealth comes heavily through women. I've been able to get into a lot of doors just by having the right women in the rooms with me, bro, because they will. There are 3 different parts of the. I just be needing to know.
It's like a specific date, and I was like, all right, cool. But once I got off that phone, it kind of clarified it, and I went to work. Like if she say my shit coming to June, and when June come, I need to be set for ways for money to come into my life.
Niggas talking about manifestation and all of this other type of stuff. And I'm not even interested in talking about none of this. I don't even like talking about people and none of that. Honestly, my prayer for him, because I want everybody to win it. I want everybody to be successful, bro. My prayer for these people is that they turn their life around, figure out how to do it the legal way and get to it. And stop presenting themselves to be something that they not, man. You know what I'm saying? The message to everybody else, because I'm not on no, oh man, let's go and do. I don't want to do that. I even thought about this for a couple days before I even decided to have this conversation. But it's okay to be a lame. It's okay to be a nerd. It's okay to do things legally. It's okay to have a regular job. It's okay to do the right thing. All this, let's manifest it, and the money's going. Man, listen, that's all nonsense, all bullshit. And I'm not saying that being positive and manifestation, but you also got to put in the work. I don't want nobody coming up talking about, yeah, man, you know, the money is just going to come. You just got to keep, fuck, you're going to end up in jail, bro. You're going to end up in jail. You're going to end up in jail. Straight up. It's hard enough just having to deal with regular everyday life. And now you want to put yourself in a situation where you got to sit down? I got to sit down for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nah, I can't sit down. I can't sit down, bro. But it all comes out to the wash. Eventually, it all comes out to the wash. I have no idea how long they're gonna be in jail. But again, prayers up for him. I hope he come out. I hope he do the right thing. I hope everything work out for him. Let me see something. I gotta read this Cash App real quick. And then we're going to go over to the next part of the show. Shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you. Thank you, Mike, that dude. Said happy 4th. Mr. DJ in the building also. Thank y'all for supporting the platform. on Cash App and all of the other ways y'all support. T. Sam says the 1 or 2 brain cells in his head thought that 10 million PPP loan was free money, and he probably asked for a payment plan when they caught him. T. Sam says, well, at least he got those fuck ass tattoos to show for it. No, he got them after he got the 10 M's on a PPP loan. Bob Brown says, yo, AD, these bulls didn't learn from Umi and the Hellcat to get the money and shut up and be low key or not scam in the first place. It's such an allure to cut corners, y'all. It is. It's an allure for a lot of people to try to cut corners because y'all look at what's going on Instagram and y'all look at what's going on the internet and y'all be like, yo, you know, I want to live that life, or I want to go get to it, or I want to do it, or I want to risk my freedom for it. It's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it, man. The long money, short money is weak. Long money is a play. Short money is not it, bro. It's going to get you jammed up 100% of the time. Shout out to Rand Wilson. Yeah, I heard that Julio Cesar Chavez got arrested too. That was a part of the conversations of whether or not I was going to talk about that also. It's just not working. Worse, bro. Don't look at what people do on Instagram and think that your life ain't valuable or what you got going on is not sufficient. I'd rather be out on freedom arguing with y'all on the internet and in real life and doing meetups than risking my freedom. I'd rather go get a job, bro. I'm straight. I ain't sitting down for nobody. What we got? Let's get into this Trump situation because I heard that Trump was actually speaking on the bill. Let me see if I could talk about that. Let's go here.
Signed his big, beautiful bill into law today after kicking off America's 250th celebrations in Iowa last night. Rebecca Castor is live from Washington with more. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Carly. Congress pulled this off. While President Trump said it was okay if it took a little longer to pass the big, beautiful bill, he did want to sign it today on July 4th. Here's why.
There could be no better birthday present for America than the phenomenal victory we achieved just hours ago when Congress passed the one big, beautiful bill to make America great again. The people gave us a historic mandate to cut taxes, raise take-home pay, bring back jobs, stop the invasion. With this bill, every major promise I made to the people of Iowa in 2024 became a promise kept.
Trump kicked off his victory lap last night at a rally in Iowa, just hours after House Republicans finally passed the big, beautiful bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson is being declared a miracle worker after wrangling enough votes to get this done. It took days of arm twisting, with some Republicans concerned over cuts to Medicaid and SNAP programs, while others still think the bill didn't cut enough spending. In the end, Republicans only lost 2 votes.
We are basically enacted in this agenda what we did in the first 2 years of the Trump administration, but this time we did it on steroids.
The president will sign the bill at the White House with the ceremony at 4 p.m. later today. He'll then host military families for a July 4th picnic where they'll watch the Air Force flyover and fireworks.
Malik, what up, Malik? How you doing, Malik? Welcome back, bro. Welcome back, Malik 2 Turn. Have you decided to change your name yet, or are you gonna go with it? Don't worry about it. We'll get there. I don't know why people keep trying to go up against Trump. It's almost like he can't lose. It's almost like he can't lose. But I don't even want him to lose because what's best for what he's doing is best for everybody. And this bill, everybody wins. Everybody wins in this bill. And he's so sweet with it. Trump is so sweet with it that he was able to get it by the 4th of July. He was able to get it by the 4th of July. So now he gets to celebrate the big, beautiful bill. Unlike the Democrats, we're not sitting here talking about it at the last hour trying to get some kind of agreement so that we can keep the federal government open. Everybody catch the dub. Even the people, listen, even people that didn't vote for him, even the people that are the most ardent Trump haters, benefit from this because he's the president of everybody. He's the president of everybody. I think that Trump was speaking on this specifically. Let me see if I can get this up for you guys. Trump was speaking on it, his first remarks about the bill. Let me see if I can get that up.
Catapulted him into his second term inside of the Oval Office. So we'll see if we have any questions. Reporters there on the ground, different lawmakers will be traveling with him. We did see different Iowa delegation lawmakers there for this. You can see they're making the U-turn. We'll see if he gets out of the motorcade, out of the beast, and they're in that Republican caucus earlier on today. We saw Steve Scalise, Mike Johnson, celebrate this monumental victory. And we're just waiting to see if he steps up to the other shot. And it looks like he's going to speak. So let's listen into it live.
What is this? Switch over.
Coming up here in just as well.
We have a very big trip planned to Iowa. Some of you are going with us. And perhaps a lot of you are going with us. How are you? And we have a very big crowd, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed. And it's going to make this country into a rocket ship. It's going to be really great.
Mr. President, he said a lot of House Republicans yesterday slightly want them to yes.
I think when you go over the bill, it was very easy to get into a yes. You know, we went over that bill. And point after point, biggest tax cut in history, great for security, great on the southern border. Immigration is covered. We covered just about everything. Again, it's the biggest bill ever signed of its kind.
One of the things that they did in the bill that people are absolutely mad at is, and what was being asked for from Trump specifically, was he wanted funding for our borders. He wanted funding for ICE agents. He wanted funding to continue to protect the United States of America. And that was one of the biggest things that Democrats were against. Democrats actually like Trump's bill. They can't openly say it. They like the fact that they get the tax benefits. They are the ones that actually benefit from it also. All of these politicians and legislators, all of the people that actually funded the Democrat War Party, they benefit from this. They like his bill, but they want the bill to... Democrats are like a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying? They're like a bad bitch. And when some guys talk, right? Women are going to pretend, some women are going to pretend like they don't agree with you. And the reason that they're going to pretend like they don't agree with you is because they don't want to seem like they're against whoever it is in their family that don't agree with you either, right? And so what will happen is they'll pretend like they hate you in public, but then in private, they like, yo, you know, I really fuck with you though, right? And that's really what you see happening here. So because politics is a contact sport, and the Trump administration and everybody else understands it, they know that no Democrats are going to vote for it, but they understand that the Democrats are going to benefit from it. And this is what this bill is. This bill was a bunch of posturing, and it was a bunch of acting, right? When you see Hakeem Jeffries, the only thing that you've seen Democrats do for the last 6 months totally is pretend. They're acting and they're pretending. Hakeem Jeffries will stand up and I'm going to speak for 9 hours because I'm going to speak for the people. He's not even close to Obama. He wants to be Obama so bad. I'm going to speak for the people that can't speak. And I'm going to take my sweet time. That's content. Democrats right now are content creators. Jasmine Crockett is so butthurt because her own people, you know why the people in the Democrat Party don't fuck with Jasmine Crockett? Y'all think it's because of her eyelashes. Y'all think it's because she ghetto. It's not. It's because they don't actually disagree with Trump. And so Jasmine Crockett, they had to sit her down and let her know, oh, I'm sorry. You just here because It's a nice thing for us to do, but it's not something that we actually rock with you about. Democrats right now are nothing more than content creators. They're YouTubers. They're TikTokers. They have literally done nothing. They have done zero. They got so much time to go on tour. They got so much time to hang out with people. They do lives. They do all of this stuff. It's performative. It's literally performative. And so the bill actually benefits everybody. It puts more money in the pockets of middle class people, working class people. It forces, now y'all would say, well, it kick people off of food stamps and Medicaid. No, it forces them to go and get a job if you're able-bodied. If you're a veteran, if you have a disability, if you are a senior citizen, you are not affected by Medicaid, Medicare, welfare, all of that type of stuff. But if you are an able-bodied adult and you're just irresponsible as fuck, then you're going to have to go and get a job. I don't think that that's unreasonable to ask. You got to do some volunteer work. You got to get a job. You got to go to school. You don't get to have forever benefits no more. And so he helping you help yourself. The middle class, they get more tax cuts. They get no tax on overtime, no tax on tips. What more do you want? He's literally delivering on every single thing. Now, and again, to go back to the original conversation, now you migrants. Yep. You got to come in legally. You might as well leave. I see videos of people that are self-deporting. Let me come back to this Trump situation. Let me come back to this.
Down, coupled with the national ad campaign urging undocumented people to self-deport, has prompted some people to do just that, self-deport. Let's bring in our investigative reporter, Hilda Gutierrez.
After living in the U.S. for more than 15 years, Victor says he would rather buy his own one-way ticket home than risk being arrested and put in a detention center or being deported to a prison in Central America. From dishwasher to kitchen manager, Victor says he's enjoyed every step of his journey.
So honestly, I love to work.
He was only 16 when he arrived in San Francisco in 2007 in search of opportunities. But after all these years, he's still undocumented. And now he says it's time to go back to Yucatan, Mexico on his own terms and not in handcuffs, as he's recently seen happen to others on the news.
The way that they're being detained, it's unfair because they've been treated like animals.
Listen, buddy. Listen. You're making the right choice. You're making the right decision. It's time to go home. It's time to rediscover where you came from. It's time to go and visit and have a conversation about how you can make Mexico great again. You know what I'm saying? And so I agree with his decision. They said, you know what? Because the bigger question that we have to ask ourselves is, if you've been over here for 15 years, why haven't you actually become a legal citizen of the United States of America? You telling me you've been here for 15, 16 years? So you in your 30s. You are comfortably in your 30s. You have been living life. And you telling me that you couldn't get documented within 15 years? It ain't a bigger backlog ever. Ain't no backlog that big. There is no backlog that big. If you have not been committing crimes and you've been over here for 15 years, you telling me that you wasn't able to get legally become United States of America citizen, that's just negligence. That's nothing but negligence. That's laziness and negligence. He ain't got to get nobody to do that. He could have got immigration lawyers. I did a video where the lady said it cost $6,000 and they was mad because it's too expensive. $6,000, $3,000 of it was a lawyer that they wanted to hire to do it. We don't know how he getting paid. We don't know if he was getting paid under the table. We don't know how much money he sent back home. We don't know what he got going on. And the first thing that we need to start trying to figure out is, because he made the right decision. He made the right decision. The question that we need to ask ourselves is, How can we incentivize more people? Because see, the Trump administration not fucking around. They got alligator, Alcatraz people so messed up. They ain't even putting no borders around it. You know why? Try to escape if you want to. Try to make it out. You want to be fooled or you want to go on? $6,000 for you to become an American citizen? $6,000. That's it.
We only come to this country to work. We don't come to look for problems.
For the last 5 years, Victor has worked alongside the Mecable brothers at their popular Masra restaurants. They started the business without much experience and credit Victor for the successful launch of their Redwood City location.
As cliche as this is, though, to the employees, and I mean, these people, like, even calling them employees feels off. They're literally my coworkers. Like,
I'm starting to question the business owners. That's the conversation that we really should be having. This is my question to y'all. Are the business owners traitors? 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 That's what I want to know. Because they never hired. See, all of these liberals, let me show you how hypocritical a liberal is. A liberal will sit there and tell you, because remember last year and the year before and the year before that, they said that everybody should have a livable wage, but then they are underpaying other people that's not even supposed to be here, and we don't even know if they're paying them over the table or under the table. So you won't actually hire Americans, but you'll hire people that's not from here. Got it. Got it. So they're not hiring people in the United States of America. They're hiring people that's not from here and using them for slave labor. The same people that sit there and say, well, who's going to pick your berries and who's going to cut your grass and who's going to do this? They basically modern day slavers, and then they're trying to justify it by saying that they're a liberal. They're not hiring people at a livable wage like they try to sit there and talk about. They are hiring people at a reduced rate that want to get over here and just be able to survive. Interesting. So the very people on that side that say that we need to be business owners, these are the same people that sit there and say, no, businesses need to take responsibility. They need to make sure that they pay people a livable wage. Yeah, they at the rallies, they holding it down. But I wonder if they even hire Americans inside of the United States of America and pay them a livable wage. Interesting. Let's continue.
I see these people more than I see my family, and they come in, put in countless hours, so much love into the food.
When they found out Victor was leaving, his bosses wanted to make sure he knew how much they appreciate him.
You know, Victor's been essential to the restaurant, to the development, really the menu, the staff, a lot of people he brought in. He's always been a leader.
According to the American Immigration Council, of the 13 million undocumented immigrants in the U.S., the vast majority don't have a pathway to legal status, meaning they can't wait their turn in line because there is no line. A few years ago, Victor says he applied for a U visa, a humanitarian path to legal residency for
a few years ago. So you've been over here for 15, 16 years, and just a couple years ago, you decided that you wanted to apply for a U visa.
Victims of certain crimes after he was robbed at knife point outside a bank in San Francisco.
And he only did it because he got robbed in San Francisco.
Years later, he's still waiting.
When I go on the bank, get cash, there's some people.
Here's what I'm trying to understand, y'all. And again, I'm ignorant. I'm learning more about how people are able to finesse the system every single day. How are these people able to get jobs, bank accounts, Nigga, do you know the hoops that you got to go through to go and get a replacement ID? They driving, they go and get cars, they got credit. How? How is the system supporting this? How is the system supporting this? This is what I'm trying to ask. This is what I'm trying to understand. Because if we change the system, then that means that they wouldn't be able to do some of the things that they do and then be able to get away with it. How? You able to buy a car? You able to get a bank account? You able to get a crib? You able to get all of this? How? Let's go back to Trump, y'all.
Mr. President, some Republicans that were concerned about the bill said that they had conversations where you make promises. What promises did you make? Did you tell?
Somebody said, well, I don't want to read your comment because you don't have a profile picture, but I'm going to read it anyway. Somebody said, Anton, stop acting dumb. How am I dumb because I'm asking questions? There's a black market for anything. How do people get pay stubs? No. See, you basic. You a basic person. So you don't really understand. All right. This is what I'm asking. When I go to the bank, I have to put in a ID. They run my ID. The level of hoops that you have to jump through in order to even be able to take out a certain amount. If you apply, for example, for a mortgage, now this is not my case, but let's just talk about it in general. If you apply for a mortgage, you have to have your taxes up to date. You have to actually have a work history. You have to actually be able to show your background, what it is that you did and all of this other type of stuff. Y'all keep saying fake IDs. Fake IDs are not enough to be able to do some of the things that you need to do with social security numbers when it comes to running you in the system. They flag you. If anything comes up, you are supposed to be flagged 100%. Open a bank account wrong, do this wrong, do that wrong. If you mess up a bank account, they put you in the system so that if you try to go to a different bank, it could flag you to try to figure out why you left that bank and why you messed up over there. So if I ask a question, I'm dumb because I'm not a criminal. That's really what you're telling me. What you're basically telling me is that I need to understand and be a criminal because most of us, 98, 99% of us in the society are tax-paying citizens. And so we're not familiar with the underground world and all of this dumb shit that y'all be associating yourself with. Why would I understand how the black market works? Why would I understand how the black market works? You know what I'm saying? You can't even get to the airport unless you got a passport or a real ID now. Your regular ID don't work. Go in there with a regular ID. They're going to go through some more security. You got to go and verify yourself, and they're going to really start digging into your background. You can't even catch a flight unless you go through a more extenuating background check if you don't have a passport or a real ID, and you sitting here talking to me about how it is that they operate on the black market. Come on, man. Stop. I don't know. I'm not associated with this. Yes, and if you go through certain lines, it takes a picture. They don't even ask for your passport anymore. Hey, take your glasses off. Pulls up all your information and everything. Hey, can you back up for 1 second? Even if you go through the clear line. If you go through the clear line, all of it is just is biometrics now. It's all biometric. They don't even care about all of that other stuff no more. You don't even need that. They looking at you. Take a picture. Back up, sir. It's all biometric scanning and shit now. Ain't none of that other stuff no more. You can't do that same stuff no more.
What sort of deal did you make with those?
Well, I talked to a lot of different Republicans in doing it, and we had a good time in being there. I did not have much of a problem with any of them. As you know, we had 2 negative votes, but we had whatever it was, the final vote. Yeah, I think a few of them I did, but I think they would have gone yes anyway. No deals, no deals. What I did is we talked about how good the bill is. I mean, that's a deal, I guess, when you think about it. But obviously convince them, but it was not hard. This is a great bill. This is going to be a great bill for the country.
Congressman Ryan was one of two no's to vote no to this beautiful bill. Do you want to primary him too?
Well, I was disappointed that he did that. There were two of them that voted no, so I was disappointed that he voted no.
Mr. President, all the primary stay accomplished.
We had a call. It was a pretty long call. We talked about a lot of things, including Iran. And we also talked about, as you know, the war with Ukraine. And I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy. No, I didn't make any progress with them today at all.
Mr. President, how much growth can the country expect from the one?
I think we're going to get great growth. I think we'll have growth at record numbers. This is going to be something that's amazing. And everybody was watching it all over the world. And I want to congratulate the Speaker and Tom Emmer and Steve Scalise and everybody else. I mean, they worked so hard, so hard. This has really been going on for over a year, if you think about it. I think, to be exact, about 14 months. And this was the culmination. And I guess it ended a lot earlier. A lot of people thought it would end up the following afternoon. Well, it ended up late in the evening. But they were great. They were.
Congratulations to the Trump administration. Congratulations to the United States of America. Congratulations to us. I'm not tired of winning yet. I'm not tired of winning yet. I'm not tired of winning. We've been winning for so long. And shout out to the bag chasers. If you're a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Bag chasers been running it up. Have y'all been seeing the S&P 500 lately? Have y'all been seeing the markets? Have y'all been seeing these companies that we all invested in inside of the bag chasers? Oh my God, it is crazy. I took out an egregious amount of money, probably like, I forgot how long ago it was, but I took out an egregious amount of money. And I don't daily check my accounts. I dollar cost average, and so I check my accounts once a month. Bro. Man, do you know that I went to my account and it was, and this was yesterday. This is the honest to God truth. I went to my brokerage account and I had to do a double take because I only check my accounts once a month. And it was slightly above what it was when I took out an egregious amount of money in order to make a big purchase. Because y'all know I just recently bought that Navigator or whatever, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What the heck is happening? I bought the Nav and I had made the deposit a long time ago. And so I took out a whole bunch of money in order to buy the Nav. And then I, obviously got it customized and all of that type of stuff. And then I went and checked my account yesterday and it was more than what it was than when I took out the money to buy the Nav. And I'm like, this is insane. Honestly, I literally went and double checked my account because I was like, that can't be right. I thought I just took out $120,000. It's crazy. It's crazy. Tabby, just ask me during the live stream inside of the Patreon. I'm gonna do Stock Club. I think Monday, because I'm over here in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's why I'm inside of this courtroom, inside of this hotel room. Honestly, I looked at it and I was like, this is insane. It's back to the same, above the number that it was when I took out the money in order to buy it. And I'm like, man. So, yeah, man, it's insane. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of opportunities. All of that. Let me read some of y'all super chats. Let me double check something real quick to make sure there ain't no cash apps I need to address. Shout out to Rand Wilson. I appreciate you. Also, shout out to Crystal. What up, Chris? What up, Chris? Steven Chartier says, F that white living in London. Shout out to Steven. Steven, my boy. Steven, you sent the bag too. Appreciate you, Steven. He says Salt Lake City is wild. I'm glad I left. I like Salt Lake City. I like Salt Lake City. I think Salt Lake City has been good to me. Happy 4th of July to my Detroit brother, AD, from your Grand Rapids, bro. E-Will. What up to E-Will in the building? I appreciate you, Dre. With the case says, I've been seeing that the no taxes on tips and overtime will just be a tax break at the end of the year. What have you seen, AD? I'm going to read the bill extensively over the weekend so I can deep dive into it because it is like 900 pages. We're going to keep on, and I'm using AI to help me. We're going to keep on winning, says Chris Cunningham. He wanted to live tax-free. Just Christian in the building. I appreciate you. Purple Haze says there's Hispanic banks, car lots, and more that help them. Some car lots don't require a license to buy from under a certain amount. Moses King says, what up, AD? 15 years in America and still can't speak English? Nah, that's not culture. That's disrespect. You don't want to integrate. You just want to exist here. When I go and visit other countries, I'll be thinking to myself, man, I might have to learn Spanish. And they'd be over here for 15 years. Purple Haze says, AD, isn't there a tax videos on the Patreon? I'm going to have to do a deep dive with the no taxes on overtime. I'm about to kill it. I talk about taxes in other videos of different things that I talk about. So for example, I talk about how I budget like a business, and how I budget like a business also allows for me to be able to project exactly how much I need to spend so I can reduce my tax burden. You see what I'm saying? So go watch, for example, the budget like a business video, and then we can go from there. Jamaica says, Wagwan AD, on the next stock club, could you give us some recommendations for the S&P? I've invested. Thanks to you, I've been doing well. We'll get there. We're going to talk about it. Can you buy stocks with a business account? Nah, you don't need a business account to buy stocks. Just get you a regular brokerage account. The only thing you're going to have to pay is capital gains taxes after that. And if you go over if you generate enough revenue and then you move to Puerto Rico, you don't even have to pay capital gains taxes. Anyways, let me see what else we got on the. Oh, Philly. Let me see if I can find this. Philly. I heard that Sherelle Parker was still was begging people. I heard she was begging people in order to end the strike. Is that true, y'all? I don't like replaying live streams from the news because the live streams from the news be kind of messed up. Let me see if I can see something. I don't, because it's like whenever you show it from the live stream, for whatever reason, it almost seems like they only have it coming out of one speaker when you show it on the live stream. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm trying to figure out, like, why do they do that? Why are local news companies so stupid to where they can't get their live stream together to where it only come out of one speaker? Now I'll play it if I have to, but I prefer not to. Let me see if I can find something that probably summarizes it.
33 strike is now impacting the Wawa Welcome America concert tonight on the Parkway. Headliner and hip-hop legend LL Cool J says he will not cross the picket line to perform. CBS Philadelphia's Dan Snyder joins us from Independence Hall, where Mayor Sherelle Parker spoke a short while ago. Dan, happy 4th of July. Loud there.
Yeah, the fan favorite coming up behind us. Happy 4th of July to you, Siafa, the 249th anniversary of the founding of our nation. And what better place to do it than where it all happened, right here at Independence Hall. And you can see behind me, the fire trucks are coming through. Philly police are coming through. This is the 4th of July parade coming right in front of Independence Hall, making the bend up 6th Street, then going down Market Street. been an air of celebration out here as the line to get into Independence Hall has been wrapped around. And before all this, Mayor Sherelle Parker opened the holiday with the celebration of freedom. But what has been inescapable from this holiday is the District Council 33 strike. Some picketers were actually here for Parker's speech, where the mayor did address that strike, tying it to the rights fought for by the founders in this building.
We have the right to fight for what we believe in, what we believe is best, and what we believe is right. That is what I'm doing right now and every day for the residents of this great city. It's what the men and women of District Council 33 are doing as well. And it is precisely what our forefathers asked of their fellow Americans on July 4th, 1776.
The strike is also impacting tonight's party on the Parkway. As you mentioned, headliner LL Cool J is pulling out of tonight's show, saying he will not cross the picket line and will not perform tonight.
So for those of you that may not be familiar, Philadelphia is going through a problem where they basically have their city workers and District Council 33 specifically are going on a strike. And it's affecting trash pickup inside of the city of Philadelphia. And it's starting to pile up and it gets really, really bad. And Philadelphia is spending more money on separate sanitation companies in order to try to get the trash picked up from these bins that are just dropped off at over 60 locations. And now it's starting to attract rats and rodents and all of that stuff. And the residences are suffering as a result of it. People are doing more dumping, all of that. And so you basically have chaos inside of a lot of these democratic cities that are often at times ran by women. And can I be frank with y'all and just say that I don't like when women are in these type of leadership positions? Are there women that can do certain jobs? Absolutely. Are there women that can absolutely take leadership positions? 100%. We've seen that, for example, from Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is running a leadership position, and she's doing a phenomenal job with it. But I don't care for certain women that are truly not qualified for a lot of these leadership positions. Man, listen, I know some of y'all may like Cheryl Miller. Shout out to all of my people over there in Philadelphia. Some people tell me that they don't. These people are just figureheads. They trash, man. They're trash. I don't want a woman in these type of leadership positions because often at times they do a bad job. When I look at Cheryl Parker and Karen Bass, remember Lori Lightfoot, you can even throw Tiffany Henyard in there. Ugh. They do horrible, bro. They do horrible. They do absolutely horrible at their job.
And because of that strike, he did say, however, he will be in Philadelphia just in case a last-minute deal is reached. He would hop on the stage, but that remains to be seen. The festivities still happening around us here on the 4th of July, and we'll be sure to keep you up to date with the latest. Live from Independence Hall, I'm Dan Snyder. Siafa will send it back to you.
Dan, I'm sure now that your reporting is done, there'll be no more noise behind you after the fire trucks and the band. But thank you so very much, Dan. All right, it is day 4 of District Council 33 strike, and negotiations remain at a standstill. Meanwhile, the trash around the city is piling up more and more every day. CBS News Philadelphia's Josh Sanders is in Queen Village, where one of those temporary drop-off sites is located. Josh.
Hey, good afternoon, Siafa. Good to be with you. A lot quieter here in Queen Village than where Dan is. But yeah, day 4. And as people prepare and celebrate for the 4th, tensions remain high between the city and the union, both at a stalemate. Here at Queen Village, though, take a look at this container. It's a lot cleaner than we've seen throughout the week. You have some trash that's starting to spill out as people continue to drop off their trash here. I want to take you, though, to video from earlier. We were in Port Richmond, where you had contracted workers cleaning up that location. That place was a mess. The trash was all over the street in front of several homes. All of this is happening as both the city and the union remain at a stalemate. Now, Parker and the city are proposing a 13% pay raise over 4 years. They're including a 3-year contract with 2.75% increase in the first year and 3% raises in each of the next 2 years. The union says their plateau now for a wage increase is at 5%. That's down from the 8% that they were asking for their 9,000 membership. But they're ready to offer a new proposal. And meanwhile, people we talk to, they're ready for this strike to end. Take a listen.
I took my dog out like in the morning, and then by like the evening, it was like the entire block of the alley.
You don't want people having it outside your house, but this is going to be flies, rodents, raccoons, everything under the sun hitting this area pretty fast within a week, especially with the heat. Like, yeah, just pay these people at this point.
Day 4, we do know that City Council President Kenyatta Johnson and State Rep Jordan Harris are meeting with both the union and the mayor's team to try to bring them back to the table. We've reached out to both the city and the union about those negotiations. We're waiting to hear back to see if that happens today or hopefully this weekend, hopefully soon, because people are fed up, Siafa.
Yeah, that's I see Fa Brown. You were saying that it's bad over there. I know Fa Brown is over there in Philly. But this is horrible. It's absolutely bad. And so I don't even know where the contract companies are taking the trash in order to dump it. Derek Devin says hire contractors never get into a strike. Here's the thing about that, Devin, though. Here's the thing about that. All right. Now, I'm not on the side of the worker and I'm not on the side of the city. And I'll tell you why. It's because the city, in preparation for a strike, and this is where you have failed leadership, okay? The city, in preparation for a strike, right? You say hire contractors, never give into a strike. Well, here's the thing. They were already supposed to be preparing themselves in this situation, and their preparation to only dump 60 plus containers and tell everybody, all of the millions of people in the city, to go and dump it inside of those containers, which is obviously affecting the neighborhoods and the locations where they put these containers, is not well prepared to put yourself in a better negotiating position with the union for the workers, and it's neglectful. So if I'm in a position to where I know, okay, so listen, we're not going to give in to a strike. We don't want to give these people these raises because we think that it's too much. Let's assume, for the sake of conversation, that you're in that position. You're a lead negotiator, you're a lead mayor, you're a lead and all of this stuff. Well, 1 to 2 years before this, you have to anticipate that union leadership is not giving in. We're going to have to go ahead and break this thing. And if you're prepared to break it, then that means that you got to allocate funds, resources, and you got to do proper planning to where it doesn't affect city residences. So, for example, one of the things that the automakers did was they had already extended themselves additional lines of credit just in case the strike was prolonged. And then at the same time, they ramped up manufacturing almost a year before that so that they can have enough vehicles to where nobody is affected, to where they'll be able to still sell vehicles on vehicle lots if they ran into a situation where they went into a prolonged strike. So what you've seen them do when Biden was out there on the picket line and all of that stuff, they had enough F-150s, they had enough Broncos, they had enough Chevys, they had enough Cadillacs, they had enough all of that to last them more than 3-4 months into a strike. Now, they still were suffering financially because the way that you report a car being sold is based off of whether or not the dealership actually takes delivery of it. But that's a completely different conversation. But business leaders tend to prepare themselves because the negotiations started way before, which is another negligent point. They should have been negotiating this at least a year and a half, 2 years prior to, so that you can avoid and properly prepare just in case you never come to a conclusion, and then you put yourself in a position where you have to actually deal with a strike. So I still place the responsibility squarely on the shoulders of the leadership within the city of what the situation is that they're facing, because if you're telling me that their solution was just to put 60 trash cans and then have it removed on a daily basis, I'm gonna tell you that that's poor planning and negligence 100% of the time. It's poor planning and negligence 100% of the time. It squarely falls on the shoulders of leadership. Absolutely, 100%. I am always prepared for the worst case scenario. Always prepared for the worst case scenario in every situation. But that's just me. I look at it differently. I think that they should have budgeted differently. I think that they mismanaged the city's finances wrong. And now this is what you see. Princess Williamson, shout out to Princess Williamson. I appreciate you. No Lames TV says, can you get a brokerage account in your business name? You absolutely can't. You don't need to, but yes, you can get a brokerage account in your business name. You 100% can, to have basically your business managing your finances or managing the finances of the company in itself. And it can absolutely put money and invest money into a brokerage account. Okay. Happy 4th, AD. Did you watch the video about the mother who told her son he can't work because it will mess up their Section 8 benefits? I didn't see that. Send it to me. Fob Brown says, yo, AD, it's a mess out here in Philly. People are literally dumping their trash any and everywhere, and there's a stench lingering around the city. Law says, about to join the Bag Chasers ASAP, can't miss the next live stream, time to level up. I see you. Fa says, she advised us to load our trash into our cars and drop off our trash in these designated trash sites, but 30% of Philly doesn't own, cares, or so what do they do? Female leadership at work, female leadership at work, shaking my head. Yeah, y'all, I don't know, man. I don't know why y'all voted in that woman to lead y'all, but Philly, y'all got stuff that y'all need to work on. Somebody actually sent me this. And it said, Anton, Jaguar sales, Jaguar, that's the proper way to say it. A lot of people like to say Porsche. It's actually Porsche. Like that little ghetto hood rat that we be dealing with on a regular basis. Hey, Porsche. What's up, Porsche? It's not Porsche. It's Porsche. That's how you pronounce it. And similar to what we say with Jaguar. A lot of people say, well, I got me a Jag. Yeah, man, you got that Jaguar F-Type. It's Jaguar. Jaguar. That is the proper way that you pronounce it. But a lot of people are based, and actually, I think it was a Jaguar F-Type. It was a really great vehicle that I drove one time. It was like a drop-top F-Type. I had one in Tampa. It was pretty awesome. But a lot of people are telling me and they asking me to go and look at this video because they said, Anton, and y'all sent it to me about 8 times inside of my email. And you said, Anton, Jaguar sales plummeted over 97.5% and all of this stuff. I want you to do a review video of it. I want to see exactly what you got to say about it. Go woke, go broke. I said, all right, I'm going to check it out. But I'm going to check it out in real time. So let's get into it. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
According to an auto industry report, Jaguar registered just 49 cars in Europe during the entire month of April. Guys, that's down 97.5% compared to last year, where they sold nearly 2,000 cars. Between January and April, sales dropped 75% versus the same time last year. And Bloomberg claims the brand has effectively gone dormant since rebranding and ditching all of its gas-powered models. Lydia, as Charlie says, go woke, go broke.
No kidding. I mean, you'd think that these big car companies or any big brand would learn their lesson at this moment, because I feel like, what is it, insanity? You keep repeating the same thing over and over, expecting to have a different result. We saw this with Target. We saw this with Disney. We saw this with Bud Light, right? These companies are going broke, embracing what they think a certain demographic wants and totally missing the mark, and then suffering to the tunes of billions of dollars.
So let me add a little bit of context here for the people, because I have to say that Fox News on this particular issue is wrong. And I believe that Fox News is misleading the people in this report and how they're having a conversation about it. And they're trying to tie Jaguar sales with that and the downfall of places like Disney and Target when they decided that they wanted to go woke. And this is not true. And this is why you need people like me that is objective and is not paid, because I am not going to continue to push a narrative. I am going to have the conversation in truth. Now, let's break this down, okay? Because I was already familiar with all of this, and I was already aware of everything that was going on. I do like Fox News. I think that Fox News is accurate on a lot of the stuff that they talk about, but on this particular issue, I am always going to be objective. I know that Fox News is wrong. They're wrong. And so what they're doing is they're pushing a narrative, and they're having Republicans and they're having conservatives all riled up about the go woke, go broke thing, and that's not what Jaguar is doing. That's not why their sales is down 97.5%. I am going to give you the real understanding about what is really happening with Jaguar. And again, I am objective. I am able to separate how I feel about Republicans, conservatives, and all of that stuff from what is happening with Jaguar. Now, they are absolutely correct in that they did go woke with this new branding and all of this stuff, right? They changed the logo, they did this new commercial, they going all electric, and I think that they went all electric as a result of what was happening under the Biden administration. So all of the design direction and everything that's happening with Jaguar, similar to what happened with Chrysler, similar to what happened with Stellantis, similar to what happened with a lot of companies, were based off of the fact that there were EV mandates that were basically taking over the industry. And what happened was people were being forced into EVs, and they were being forced away from gas-powered vehicles, ICE-powered vehicles. Now, obviously, the election had a huge impact in what we were going to do from a business perspective. So what does that mean, Anton? That means that Trump then said, listen, we're not going to finesse the people with this whole Green New Deal and all of this stuff. What we're going to do is give people choices. And with those choices, we're also going to allow for companies to be able to make V8 engines, which is one of the reasons why you see Stellantis and Dodge now bringing back SRT. And if you remember, if you've seen it, the new Charger, it was EV only, and then they was going to put a V6 in a version of it and all of this stuff, and a Hurricane engine and all of that. But now, Tim Meniscus is back as a CEO of Dodge. They're bringing SRT back. They're bringing the Hemi back. They put the Hemi back in the Ram. And so they are now going to give people more options instead of going EV only. All right. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is Jaguar is a boutique brand now. It has brand recognition. We all know Jaguar, but Jaguar has a history in which it used to be owned by Ford Motor Company. It was a part of the Premier Automotive Group. And Ford Motor Company, during the 2008, 2009, 2010 crisis, one of the things that they did is they spun off multiple different brands, and they wanted to focus on the core brands that they had, right? And so they sold Jaguar, was one of the companies that they sold. They shut down Mercury. They sold a couple of other companies also. But Jaguar is now a boutique brand owned by an Indian company. Yes, Jaguar and Range Rover, both of them are now owned by Indian companies. As a matter of fact, I believe that Jaguar and Range Rover are both owned by the same company. So what happened was, as they were going woke with this new commercial and going in the new design direction, which they didn't actually reveal, right? They revealed like a little prototype, but that's not actually the real cars that they're going to be selling. What they revealed was that they were going in a new design direction. They were able to sustain their profitability and also sustainability within the automotive industry through Land Rover, Range Rover. So while they're selling more trucks, what they did was they said that we are going to reset the whole brand, and we're going to stop selling vehicles altogether. That's why I'm telling you the history behind it, so that you'll actually understand it and you'll be able to have a conversation with people when they give you false information. Fox News is saying that it is because Jaguar is going woke. That is not true. Jaguar is going woke, but that's not why their sales is down 97.5%. What Jaguar already planned to do years before was to go through a whole year plus of resetting the brand altogether and moving on to a completely different platform. And so they were going to just sell out whatever cars that they had left. They were going to do whatever fleet sales that they had to do, such as the cars that they're using for the Waymo vehicles over there in California and stuff like that. And that they were letting the dealers know a long time ago that they were not going to manufacture any cars over the 2025, 24, 25 sales year, so that they can then reveal a new design direction, and they will be releasing new product over into the dealers. And they're going to take Jaguar, which already had sales problems competing against the Aston Martins, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, and all of these other higher end brands, even the Cadillacs, even the Lexuses. Jaguar had a very difficult time creating a pathway in the marketplace, especially with newer vehicles, the Teslas and all of this stuff that's coming out. And so what they did was they decided to do a rebrand, let the Land Rover, Range Rover brand continue to generate the revenue and the profits. And then Tata Motors would then take the Jaguar brand in a completely different direction and then probably electrify it. So this was intentional. This is not because people didn't show up to the dealerships and that they were saying, oh my God, I'm going to protest buying Jaguars. They intentionally reset the company, and they anticipated being able to report that they were not going to absolutely positively sell a whole bunch of vehicles because they don't have any vehicles that they're manufacturing right now for sale in the first place. Jaguar is not manufacturing vehicles. It's not like they have vehicles that are sitting on a lot that they can't sell. They're not making vehicles to sell in the first place. You understand what I'm saying now? So when you see these people, these women, what these women on Fox News are doing is they are talking off of a teleprompter. They are taking talking points from producers, and they're just using a narrative to say, hey, go woke, go broke. Yes, I do agree that going woke is trash, but that is not the real reason why Jaguar has a 97.5% drop. It's a good headline. It's not the truth when it comes to what they are doing from a corporate perspective. They haven't even revealed. They probably reveal it at CES in the winter/fall. They're probably going to start revealing the cars that they're going to start dropping at the auto shows. And then going into 26 and 27, they're going to start rolling out vehicles for sale. And so then we'll actually see exactly what the implementation is of the new design direction from the concept vehicles. Trini Life says the Jaguar car dealerships at Frisco lot look full. Listen. This is the thing that y'all have to understand, and this is why y'all got to join the Patreon and get in Stock Club. The way that a manufacturer records sales is deliveries from the manufacturing facility over into the dealership. So, for example, if you have a Ford Motor Company, because the dealership networks is completely separate from the company itself, the dealerships actually are owned by different business owners. They're owned by a different corporation. They're owned by family companies. They're owned differently. The dealerships, they have to sell the vehicles to the consumers, whether it's fleet sales or whatever. The corporate side of Ford Motor Company, Jaguar, GM, or whatever, they record a sale the minute that the dealerships take delivery of the vehicle from the manufacturer. So similar to what I was just telling you guys about the strike that happened with Ford Motor Company and the Big Three, when they ramped up production, they then delivered it over to whatever. So when you say a car lot and you see a dealership and they say, oh man, they got 120 days worth of inventory. They got to sell through all of this inventory. Well, Jaguar ramped up production so that the dealership networks, it was an agreement with the dealership networks in order for them to have a sustainable amount of vehicles to last them in order to continue to keep the businesses open while they do the rebrand. So when they then delivered these vehicles over to the dealerships, that is why you then see them say, well, we got a 97.5% drop in sales because they're not manufacturing any more vehicles. You understand what I'm saying? So the dealerships may have sales, but the actual company is not selling cars to the dealerships. That is how they then record a sale. When Ford Motor Company say, hey, we sold a million vehicles, is because those were deliveries to the dealerships. That wasn't necessarily dealership deliveries to the actual consumers. The dealership networks has to sell the vehicles, whether it's incentives, whether it's the finance companies or whatever, but the actual manufacturing of the vehicle, they record the sale the minute that they then send it over into the dealership. And then they incentivize the dealership to sell it by giving special financing and all of this other type of stuff. So this is why I want y'all to understand everything from a business perspective. The headlines could be tricky because they'll tell you one thing, but because they don't truly understand exactly how business works, they're taking talking points from producers, from the producers that's behind the scenes telling them to say a certain thing, but that doesn't necessarily reflect what's really happening within the company. This is why when we go through, when we do Stock Club, when we do the Patreon videos, I break down exactly how you need to understand every single aspect of the company. It's not just reading the charts. It's not just looking at the management. It's not just understanding the sales trends. It's not just what's happening with the headlines. every single thing that you invest in. I tell people, never invest in a company or never invest in an industry that you don't understand. Because if you don't understand it, then you won't truly be able to make an informed decision. And then when you get on these analyst calls and they give you a projection or the revised projections, or you don't understand exactly what they're doing from a business perspective, you'll be finessed because you're just going by what Fox News is telling you, and you don't really know how to develop your own opinion because you don't understand the industry that you're in. A lot of people don't understand how Amazon really makes money. A lot of people don't understand that Microsoft don't really give a fuck about Xbox when it comes to the profitability of selling the console. They care about the fact that they're continuing to build the cloud infrastructure that you're using to download the game from, which is why GameStop is going to go obsolete, because obsolete is really going to be them trying to get you to trade in a game, but everything is now downloaded from the cloud. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to understand the business side of it. We need to understand how money works. We need to understand why these companies report the way that they do. We need to understand how they segment what it is that they're reporting in their analyst calls. Okay, so you're reporting iPhone sales, but what is it that's really growing the company? Is it software? Is it AI? How are you leveraging your AI strategy? What are you doing to deploy it into different products? How are you marketing? All of these things, right? It's more than just what's on the surface as far as what Fox News is telling you. They got a 5-minute window to get out this fucking report. They trying to get a bunch of videos and a bunch of views as a part of putting it out there. So they're going to put out this headline, hey, Jaguar declawed, go woke, go broke, 97% rebrand. It's a white lie. It's the truth, but it's not the full truth, and it's mixed in with some other verbiage in order to move headlines, but it's not necessarily an accurate reporting of the news. It's the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to give you the game. I'm going to really give you the game. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into, listen to what she's about to say. I've never seen this video. I'm reacting to it in real time. Listen to what she's about to say.
If you look at their prior advertising, it seemed like they knew who they were marketing their cars to. People that wanted powerful cars, people that wanted to be kind of dark and mysterious and drive some fast, sexy British car, right? Who are they trying to market this to? I can't even answer the question.
I can't. And I meant Charlie Gasparino, your business colleague.
Oh,
Charlie
right.
Hurt. When I used to think of Jaguar, but when I thought of Jaguar, I mean, growing up, it was always like Dean, the hot one.
Yeah. Well, you're not asking me to remember a name. James Dean.
Thank you.
Yeah.
James Dean. That to your point, iconic, historic, amazing, and not this creepy Benetton ad.
So whether you're making beer or you're making cars, these are really fun, terrific, dynamic, appealing products. People love their beer. They love their cars.
They're giving you surface level conversation. They're not actually giving you real details, which I understand. It's not sexy. It's not something that you should be able to break down on national TV in 5 minutes. You also got to have a bunch of blondes up there that look like this. That's cute. They may not necessarily understand everything from a business perspective, but they know how to look good on camera, and they can read some really good producers' cue cards and all of that. So it's not a sexy thing. I get it. Fox News is a business. CNN is a business. And even though I like Fox News, they get it wrong sometimes. And I also understand that they're looking at this from a business perspective. But again, this is one of the reasons why I got to stay in my own lane, because, I know what's really happening. I use these programs to actually see what they're going to say, but we always draw our own conclusions so that we can inform the people and give you guys the information that you need to make an informed decision.
Historic, amazing, and
products. People love their beer. They love their cars. And if you have time in the process of making a car to stop and make a stupid ad like this that has nothing to do with the car, then your car is probably really boring. And as you point out, probably not very powerful, probably doesn't, low performance, very low performance vehicle. So, if you have time for this, to make stupid ads like this and trying to appeal to the politics, you ought to stop and say, okay, are we focused enough on doing the great product that we're supposed to be doing? And clearly they're not. And it's shown in those numbers as well.
You know what this reminds me of, Kaylee? So first of all, I'm too cheap to pay for the Spotify subscription, so I have to listen to the commercials. It's really annoying. But it reminds me of when I'm listening to a classical station or scripture lullabies, and then an ad comes on that's like a rap ad. And I'm like, know your audience. I don't feel like listening to the screaming stuff right now. So I feel like it's that, know your audience, Jaguar. Who did they think in Europe was going to see that and be like, yes, that means I'm going to go buy a Jaguar right now?
Yeah, this is This is low hanging fruit for people like me. They get some stuff right, especially when it comes to like politics or whatever like that. And other times they just use the headlines because it's a sexy thing to say. 97% is a big number, right? It's going to grab headlines, but it's not necessarily the real context behind what's going on in the company. But because I understand it, I'm not their target audience. They target in the people that don't really look at it from a business perspective, that don't understand business, that don't understand manufacturing, that don't understand the car industry, that don't understand exactly how politics played a role in rolling back the ICE manufacturing and all of that stuff. So they don't get it. But I mean, they just talking, they just entertaining, they cute. Yes, girl, and this, what do they think that people? This remind me of classical music, listening to Spotify. They just wasting time. You know what I'm saying? So this is low hanging fruit. But shout out to them. They made a good headline. They got a lot of views. There's a lot of people in the comments that's drinking the Kool-Aid. I got it. I got you. Let me read some of the super chats and we'll move over to the next subject, y'all. But this is why I'm dangerous, because I actually know things. And it's hard to be able to wrangle me in because you can't tell me what to do to continue to spit this propaganda. AD, you a fool yesterday with the with the dark laughter. Don't worry about it. What up, Jamaica? How can I contact you about promoting my YouTube channel, says Roland's Reviews. Anytime anybody want to contact me from a business perspective, and let me make this announcement. Email me. I only do business through email. Or you can go to my website, antondaniels.com, and fill it out and contact me from there. There's a lot of scammers out here. It's a lot of people getting on WhatsApp and fake profiles on TikTok and Instagram and all of this type of shit. Please do not fall for the scams. I will never ask you to send me money. I will never ask you to let me manage money. I am not going to be reaching out to you telling you that I got a new program or I'm going to do some new Bitcoin. Even in the Patreon, I teach you what I know. I show you the receipts, but I'm expecting for you to do it yourself. I do not contact people outside of my official email, okay? Whatever it is that's going on out here, and I told you, Carl, I needed to continue to make this announcement. I do not manage people's money. I do not ask for people to send me money. If you are not sending it to me like it's to support the show, like on some Cash App types, like this right here, like a super chat or something, then it's not me. It's not me. All right. Just keep sending it Roland's Reviews. I get over 400 emails a day. I got 2 assistants that goes through everything. And so we get through it eventually. We take care of business. All right. I do not reach out to people for investment money. I do not reach out to people and ask you to send me some money over in Africa, some dumb shit. All right. I just want to let y'all know that. Remember that. I only do business through email. Y'all gotta be aware. It's not me. I don't have no alternative account. Hey, this is an account that I set up separately in order to be able to reach out to people. That's not me. All right. So just be careful, y'all. We working on making sure that we get those taken care of, but be careful. DJ Ace Production says the dealership buy the cars from the manufacturers. Every car that rolls off the line is counted as potential revenue. That's why efficient production numbers target is important. That's true. 100%. You are 100% right. Where should I start? It's a lot of videos. Just start at the top. Start at the top and just continue to work your way down. Start at the top and work your way down, big dog. All right, y'all. I kind of want to talk about more business-related stuff right now. I hope y'all enjoy the chat. I mean, I hope y'all enjoy my live streams, man. I mean, I know that I'm live streaming on the 4th of July and, it's abnormal and all of this stuff, but I try to give y'all entertainment and I try to give y'all insight. I try to give y'all education so that it's not like watching paint dry with a lot of these other content creators. So, yeah, I try to get on here and rock out with y'all and add value. So hopefully y'all find it entertaining. Tabby says, I'm an F student in a stock subject, but I'm extremely eager to learn. I value your knowledge. AD, waiting my turn. Yeah, I got you, Tabby. Don't worry about it, baby. I got you. Okay, Rollins. I got you. And I don't miss. and I don't miss. And we got after hours tonight. That is true, Jason 18. We got after hours tonight. So sometimes I become the sacrificial lamb on after hours, and I let them go in on me. They went in on me for about an hour and told me I had Molly goggles last night. They went on me for like an hour, and I'm cool with that. A lot of people be scared. I'm gonna talk about this next subject. A lot of people be scared. A lot of content creators that like have other people that work with them and stuff. They got so much fucking ego that they want to censor the chat and tell the chat that don't talk about me. Hey, moderators, censor anybody that say anything negative about me or have a difference of opinion. I don't do that. I don't do that. I talk big shit. I talk big shit. I do. And so the same way that I dish it, I should be able to take it. So I don't censor people if they have a difference of opinion. I may make an example out of you by talking junk about you. And even when it comes to the people that I live stream with, they come at me. Anton, you got Molly goggles, all you bias, whatever, so on and so forth. Anton, I don't believe whatever. That's cool. I'm cool with that. That's what it is. So they came at me, and I'm with that. I'm with that. They come at me. I am not above reproach. I'm not above jokes. I'm not above being held accountable. I'm not above people saying shit about me. The only thing I ever ask, and this is not applicable to just me, this is applicable to everybody. This is even applicable to people in the chat. Do not talk about people's family members and just don't be overly disrespectful. Like, don't talk about people's kids or some shit like that. Like, let's just keep it G. You know what I'm saying? We can cap on each other. We can go back and forth. We can disagree. But I'm never going to censor you. I'm never going to censor you. If you want to come at me, Anton, you ain't never got no box. Anton, I think you gay. That's cool. I ain't tripping off that. Okay, cool. Because I'm going to talk about you too. I'm going to talk about you too. So, yeah, they was trying to get on me. They was trying to get on me last night, but I'm going to fight back. Fighting back. And if they keep backing me into a corner, I got a secret weapon. I just go ahead and take all of my clothes off. And that's how I know I can get Carrie like that. Like if Carrie be talking, she trying to go in on me, she trying to get me into a corner and back me up and trying to take me out. Just go ahead and just take my clothes off. And then Carrie she do this. This is what Carrie do. That's my secret weapon. That's my secret weapon. They start trying to back me into a corner. Time to take my clothes off, baby. Switch up the whole fucking conversation. We're going to go in a whole nother direction, baby. Yeah. Oh, y'all gonna miss me if I ever decide to retire. Y'all gonna miss me if I ever y'all listen, y'all act like y'all don't love me. I know y'all adore me. Y'all act like y'all don't love me. I know you adore me. Cause ain't nobody gonna love y'all the way that I love y'all. Ain't nobody gonna hate y'all the way that I love y'all, the way that I hate y'all. And so y'all act like y'all don't love me, but I know you love me. What would you do? What would you do in the morning time and overnight, late at night, if I decided to retire? It would be miserable. Then you got to go talk to your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You got to talk to your family members. Or even worse, you're going to have to suffer through some boring ass podcast where somebody is trying to create content and they are dull and they have no personality and they want to block you the minute that you say something negative about them or you don't agree with them. Then you're going to have to suffer. Y'all would have to suffer. But nope, I entertain y'all every single day. And I give you the game. Y'all may act like y'all hate me for it, but I know y'all love me. Anyways, look at Malik. Malik can't stay away. Malik love me. I told y'all. What did I say last time that Malik was here? And we're going to move over to the next subject. I said, Malik is never going anywhere. Malik is my hoe. That's my bitch. It's my hoe. And let me tell you something. Nigga, that when you got your best eater, you don't let them go easy. You don't let your best eater go, nigga. You never let your best eater go. That's my hoe. Five Brown, really? Amanda Seals is garbage anyway. Washed. Nobody is checking for Amanda Seals. Washed. Washed. Yes, Carrie, that's my best eater. That nigga love me. Malik is my hoe. That's my hoe, nigga. And if y'all, but that's why I won't let y'all go in too hard on Malik, because I'm like, nigga, that's my hoe. It's my hoe. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all say, who is Malik? Malik 2 turn in the chat. Let me show you who he is. Hold on. Malik, where you at? Nah, Malik ain't banished. We don't banish people over here. Where Malik at? Here he is. Malik 2 turn. Malik 2 turn. That's my hoe. That nigga ain't going nowhere. Ain't never going nowhere. That's my bitch. That's my bitch right there. Guapo Gaming says, I was crying, laughing, watching yesterday's episode. Yeah, it was funny. It was hilarious. Curtis's Daily Contemplation says, thank you for all that you do, brother. Fell off a bit because I've been in class talking and studying for my A+, Net+, and Security Plus tests. Keep giving it to him. I'm going to be here until I'm not. One day I'm going to retire, and I'm going to just up and retire. And I'm like, where'd I go? Where'd I go? Or maybe I'm gonna pretend retire. You know, I thought about faking something and seeing how people react and making it a prank and seeing everybody, oh my God, I can't look at Anton. Thought about it, but that's too much work. It's too much work. I don't want people to feel some type of way about it. Anyways, let's get into this next thing. I want to talk about Microsoft. Let's talk about Microsoft. Microsoft is cutting another 9,000 jobs and another second wave of layoffs. All right. So make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's get into this whole Microsoft layoff conversation. And let's finish it off with that.
We got some breaking news just before you stepped onto set. This coming from Microsoft that basically they're going to cut 9,000 workers in a second wave of major layoffs. It seems like Microsoft is really looking to reduce headcount here.
And look, I think coding assistant as a tool is now pretty well established. It's the fastest growing software category this year. And every software maker has launched, even Google just launched their own coding assistant. So what they're saying is we are not only launching the product, we are actually changing the workflows within our organization. And companies like Microsoft and Google, I mean, they have the highest R&D in spend. So a lot of those coders, I think, are going through this restructuring right now in terms of how their jobs are changing.
All right, well, the stock, I mean, it's down in today's pre-market, but it's still up 150% over the last 5 years, up 16% this year. Obviously, they're leading by example here.
Yeah, really outperforming year to date. I do think it's interesting to compare and contrast Microsoft, which clearly wants to cut workers, wants to reduce its headcount, to Meta, for example, which is hiring quite aggressively right now.
And spending almost $3 billion in those 10 acqui-hires. I mean, we're talking about pretty much a sizable acquisition here in terms of bringing those 10 marquee researchers on board. And look, that's how I think every big player is going to think about, how can I get the smartest people in AI to come and join the team?
So let me break this down for y'all for a second, because there's two different philosophies from two different companies And full disclosure, I am invested in both of them. I have a significant investment in Meta, and I have a significant investment in Microsoft. I think that both of those companies are incredible, excellent companies to continue to invest in, and they have two different strategies from two different types of CEOs. I think that Microsoft, similar to Google, is continuing, they're all running and racing into AI. When you think about the 9,000 workers that are being laid off, you're not talking about the workers that are the AI machine learning, prompt engineers. You're not talking about cloud infrastructure. You're not talking about some of that, right? You're talking about workers that are no longer needed depending on the direction that the company is going in. Whereas Microsoft has a huge investment in ChatGPT and OpenAI, which is being ran by Sam Altman. Meta is largely considered to be behind in the AI race. And so what they're doing is they are spending aggressively to shore up and compete against the Googles, the Gemini, the OpenAI, the Microsofts, and so on and so forth. And one of the complaints that is happening over at OpenAI, which is ran by Sam Altman, which is the company that actually gives you ChatGPT, is he has been complaining that Mark Zuckerberg, through his aggressive poaching, has been stealing their employees that actually work on their AI software. So this is a war in research and development. And somebody asked me in the chat, Anton, where do you think that the majority of the money and the energy, and where should we be going from a jobs perspective? Everything should be AI, machine learning, engineering from a prompt engineering perspective if you're talking about technology. Some of y'all call me and some of y'all send me emails and some of y'all send me super chats sometimes, and you say, Anton, I want to go into computer science. You can't just go into computer science. You have to specialize. You have to specialize. You have to specifically pick a field that is largely research and development, and it is specializing with a focus in artificial intelligence. If you are going into the technology sector and the technology field, that is the direction that you need to be going in. Otherwise, you need to be going into cybersecurity because that is going to be a huge thing, or you need to be going into cloud infrastructure. But yes, Meta has been poaching OpenAI employees. Let me see if I can find an actual video to support that. Yeah, here we go.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman addressing Mark Zuckerberg's Meta platforms. He's trying to hire away OpenAI's workers. In a memo to OpenAI researchers that it was obtained by Wired, Altman said the following. He said, quote, Meta has gotten a few great people for sure, but on the whole, it's hard to overstate how much they didn't get their top people and had to go quite far down their list. Altman dismissing what he called mercenaries and said that he believes Meta's behavior will lead to cultural problems for that company. He also said OpenAI is evaluating compensation for its employees and that he thinks there is much more upside to shares of OpenAI than of the publicly traded Meta.
Now, what does that mean? Because it's not just about poaching. And this is, again, how people get rich. This is how people get rich. How do you get rich? How do you get rich? You get rich from a corporate perspective by being ahead of the curve in what these companies are going to be looking for when it comes to the most desired jobs. A lot of people only look at working from the singular perspective of what a college is offering from a degree perspective, and then how can they get a job. Very few people actually look at how it is that you're going to get rich from a corporate perspective. Well, Anton, what does that mean? It means that when you are in high demand, for your field of study, research, and then also what your profession is. When you add value, they are willing to pay for you because there is very few people that actually can do what you do and do it successfully. So what does that mean? That means that not only are they offering a huge compensation package when it comes to a signing bonus to switch over from actually working at this company and being great, and people that are going into that field, but they are also offering huge equity in the company. So what is the pitch that Sam Altman is making to his employees in order to not leave there and then go over to Meta? He's saying that, listen, if you stay here, you're going to have way more upside in the stock, your stock options, the equity that comes along with working for the company. What have I told y'all inside of the Patreon? That the biggest way that these CEOs, engineers, whatever it is that you do that's great for a company, the biggest way that you make a bag, total compensation is not based off of your base salary. That is the small time. That is for us middle class, weak people that don't actually understand how to negotiate our salary effectively and don't go into the right field. That is your base salary. Your total compensation includes your equity. Your equity is the thing that you're looking at as your upside. That is how you get really, really rich. That is how Silicon Valley and so many different people has gotten rich as far as working for these companies. And so what Meta has to do in order to poach these employees, and it happens all across the board. It's not just that. It's just this is the most open thing because of how much money that Mark Zuckerberg said that he was going to spend in there. Microsoft does it. Tesla does it. Every single great company does it. When they go and poach these employees, they have to give them something egregious, something that is way more valuable than what they would be walking away from. And what Sam Altman is saying is, don't walk away from working here because of the level of equity and what you think that the stock is going to be worth later on based off of the direction that we're going. You understand what I'm saying? So now there's a war. There has always been a war. Since as early as I can remember in the year 2000, 2021, 2001, 2002, 2003, there has always been a war and a poaching of employees and an investment in these employees that comes with an equity stake, and that is the way that people get really rich. So when I tell y'all that y'all need to go in certain fields, I'm not telling you just so you can get a job. I'm telling you so that you can absolutely get a career, get rich, and then you got to continue to invest in yourself and pivot. You have to invest in yourself and pivot 100%. They will give them the bag. The bag. It's so funny when I see people that say, you just got a regular job, or I don't know about people that get a regular. Man, you don't understand how much these people are making. And it's just because we're not familiar. Our cultural norms is to celebrate, talk about how we can make a song and then drop it on Spotify and get our distro kid popping. You know what I'm saying? What is our publishing check? That's the only shit that we talk about. We don't talk about total package and compensation, negotiating equity. We don't talk about, listen, y'all talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. What about equity that you're going to get when you negotiate your pay package when you get the right degree? You know what it's like to get poached, to get for somebody to offer you over $1 million in order to leave one company to go to the next and give you equity into the company. You can leverage that equity to not actually pull it out because you don't want to pay the taxes on it, but instead you can take a loan against it, which allows for you to be able to buy what you want to buy because you don't have to pay taxes on a loan, which is one of the ways in which rich people actually use loans. That's how we start to look at credit. That's when we start to actually talk about loans. That's when we start to actually need banks. Not in the traditional way, and y'all want to talk about increasing your credit score so you can get a better fucking credit card, but so that you can actually take out and leverage your assets to get loans so that you don't have to pay the taxes, and then it reduces your tax burden while at the same time allowing for you to live the life you want to live. Because that's your real collateral, and you can actually get a much lower rate, and it'll cost you less to take out the loan than it does to pay the taxes. We don't talk about the right shit in our culture, in our community. We always talking about the dumb stuff. Yeah, man, these rappers getting robbed. Can they get their masters back? This athlete, he flying out the hose. Don't get me wrong. I like talking about the dick and pussy stuff too. But we got to mix it in with some stuff that's actually worth having a conversation about. You know what I'm saying? We keep on talking about the same stuff over and over again. Man, the economy, food stamps. When do we evolve over from food stamps to where we can actually talk about why Mark Zuckerberg is poaching employees from OpenAI? We don't even know who these motherfuckers are. They walk around the street every single day and they rich as hell. They have unrealized gains and the equity that they have in these companies, and y'all look at them and say they ain't got no swag. I'm popping my balloon because he don't got no swag. I don't like his hookup. Dumb as fuck. Dumb dummies. But this is why I like to actually talk my shit and have these conversations. So much money out here, man. There's so much opportunity. So much to get and gain out of this. So much money. So much money. That's all right. I'm gonna continue to bolster up my monsters, my bag chasers. I'm gonna continue to build up this network of people, and I'm gonna continue to figure out how I can give you all the information so y'all can use it to change your family's dynamics. I'm gonna even if you don't like me, stick around. Even if you don't like me, stick around. Why is Anton saying even if you don't like me, stick around? Because you can't deny that I am the truth and what I give you, and that you can leverage the information. You can get your own fucking reparations. Fuck what everybody else is talking about. You can get your own reparations. They over there sleeping, talking about I want to go barbecue. We talking about money over here in this bitch for 2 hours and 47 minutes. Two hours and 47 minutes. Look at Philadelphia. Still talking dumb shit. Anyways, after hours is tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. What am I about to do? I'm about to. I don't want to tell y'all what I'm about to do, because what happens offline is a shit that I got to try to figure out and suffer through. Usually, it involves something around woman. It's always a woman. My superpower is what I talk to y'all about online. My weakness is what I can't resist when I get off of it. You know what I'm saying? We all got a weakness. We all got a weakness. Mine just happened to be something a little bit soft. You know what I'm saying? You ever had a woman say, "Hey, what you know about this? I heard you was talking about stocks online. You gonna tell me about it?" I'm like, yeah. Just lay down for a second. And pull these bit that skirt over. Anyways, Terrible People Podcast is 80. Malik is a Hebrew irrationalite. I'm gonna call him that when I see him on the street. Hebrew irrationalite is another term for, and from the latest book in the Bible called the Book of Time. New chapters are the Boxelitis Chronicles and the Dusty STI Psalms and the Sun Husband. I like that. Let me screenshot that real quick. That was pretty good. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, man. AD, you want that welfare from the big beautiful bill? We get it. I don't really think you know how rich I am, bro. I am like insanely wealthy. Honestly, I don't really. You know how you get to a certain level where it's just be like, yeah, you're right. You got it, big dog. Like, I don't really think you like, dog. There is nothing that you probably have ever owned in your life. You, your uncles, everybody, Philadelphia. Listen, bro. Listen. This is the honest to God truth. This is real talk. All jokes aside, everybody that's gonna be at the barbecue today, if you total everybody at your family barbecue, they're not going to even be able to touch 1/10 of what it is that I touch. That's the honest to God truth, bro. Like, I don't think about money no more. Honestly, I don't think about money, bro. It's best to try to be my friend. For you dumb motherfuckers that try to come at me, you should really be trying to meet me, my nigga. I change niggas' lives. What it's people that you know what? Some people that fly out to every single meetup because just to say thank you because I made these niggas millionaires. I'm not dissing. I'm being real, bro. Like, I don't need welfare. I don't need government help. There's nothing that I can't buy. Once you reach a certain point, when you reach over like $1 million a year in revenue alone, nigga, we don't be thinking about no goddamn government welfare, man. I don't give a fuck about what's in the bill. I don't even care. I care about America. Like, it don't matter if Biden is in office, if Trump is in office. The same, it's still be the same. It doesn't matter to me, bro. It doesn't matter. My daughter will never have the same problems as your kids. I'm doing this because I love you, bro. Like, you should really, really be trying to figure out how you can get on my good side, my nigga. Y'all be trying to debate me. Like, what you do? How you gonna I think I make myself too accessible. I allow for people to be able to get in touch with me. I allow for people to be able to get close to me because I'm a man of the people and I touch people and I give them hugs and shit. I might have to start pulling back. Might have to start pulling back, bro. I'm too accessible. That's why people feel like they can talk to me. This nigga should be worshiping me. Should be a god to these niggas, bro. This nigga should be praising me, buying me gifts, frankincense and myrrh. This nigga should really be praising me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here. I'm a god to these niggas. Anyways. Hey, look, check this out. I'm gonna end it like this, y'all. Watch this. Watch this. Anton, I'm trying to give you the blueprint. Anyways, Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Malik D's Nuts says Juwan Hart. Once you reach, I bet you she will. It's up forever. All right, you're right. Thank you for giving me the game to help me to get to where I need to be. I appreciate you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. After hours tonight. We'll see who show. I don't know. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't even know who's coming on after hours tonight. I have no idea who's coming on after hours tonight. So we're gonna play it by ear and we're gonna see what's happening. I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. And don't stop being y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.